My name is Peter Susovich, and tonight we've got a great match of MPBR bowls with Mount Eliza playing Balnarring in a round 11 clash. We'll go through all the permutations that are left. Round 12 maybe? Maybe round 12. We've just got that bits and pieces left over. Look, folks, we've got a great commentary team tonight. With us tonight is Dave Allen, the Editor-in-Chief of Inside Bowls, and also we've got Wayne Hogan. Folks, how you been?
Well, I'm honoured to be working with Wayne tonight. I just want to say that, Peter. I worked with you before. We worked down the Latrobe Valley a few weeks ago. But Wayne is a man of knowledge and advice, and I look forward to hearing the wisdom tonight.
Yeah, it won't be much wisdom. Wayne's just a bloke that's not afraid of a microphone. Thank you, Dave. Dave is way more experienced and way more worldly on bowls than I certainly am. It's an honour to have you along, mate. You're part of World Bowls for many, many years.
19 years.
That's decades.
It is.
That's decades. Plus, your magazine, which has gone completely online now, which
Yes.
Certainly at this club, it comes through to the Bowls Committee and then gets sent out from there. So even if you're at Mount Eliza, you're receiving only 3 or 4 that are on it, trust me, it goes out to the whole 150 members. So it's a lot more than what you see.
And we're very thankful about that, Wayne, because we're very proud of our content. There are a lot of, well, they're not a lot. There's a couple other magazines around the world and their content's rubbish, but we're very proud of ours. But I tell you what I'm proud of. Have a look at this, the quality of this transmission.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it's a credit to Peter, because I remember when Peter first got going a few years ago, it's like the Beverly Hillbillies, but now it's...
We had the coat hangers out the windows, and geez, we had it all going.
I remember that we'd sit here. We sat here one night. It looked like it might thunderstorm, and Pete was running around trying to just get everything there in case it got hit by lightning. So
now have a look at this. It's just first class. And all power to you, Peter.
Yep. And on the feed tonight that you'll be watching on the Mount Eliza rink, we'll go through it just quickly. You've got Shane McComb, he's known as Shags, which a lot of people don't like to call him Shags, but he's been known as Shags forever. An ex-cricketer, MPBR cricketer, an excellent batsman. He'll be leading off. Shane's about a third-year bowler. He's fitted into the top 10, doing extremely well. The second will be Laurie Harrington, otherwise known as the Great Lorenzo, the man with a difficult delivery and a wonderful finish. Nick Wallace will be playing third. He's the tall chap bowling with an arm. Nick moved to an arm about 18 months ago and has just taken off. And Dale Verhagen, who we discussed briefly last week, who's coming back from a serious neck injury.
Yeah.
So this will be his first week back on weekend pennant skipping. So we're hoping to see a lot out of him.
And we wish him nothing but the best. I mean, he's a fantastic guy, and he's a great character. Can I just share the Balnarring rink? It's Sue Allen, well known to me, who's a rising talent in the game. Rod Miller, he's back at Balnarring after a couple of years up in the city. Nigel Harrison, without doubt, the funniest man I've ever met in my life. And Steve Lyon, of course, an ex-Premier League player with Essendon, who's, apart from that, is a magnificent entertainer as well. So
as a band, is very, very good. We've had him here on occasions.
Just one of the best.
Yeah, just pointing out there that Sue and Steve were both region players this year.
They were.
Again, I think it was probably the third or fourth time for both of them, which was fantastic to see. So on this rink alone, Dale Verhagen, who was selected this year, same as last year, but his neck problem stopped him out of that. So we have got regional players here tonight. So amongst that lot, there's a lot of club champions, regional champions. Dale Verhagen is the current Victorian Open triples, part of that team.
Yes. With the one and only Phil Crowder.
I know you're out there, Flipper.
And Mark
Stanaway.
He never escapes, does he?
No, Crowder. No, he never.
He always gets his name in there. He'll be chucking stuff at the TV now.
Yeah. So this will be a very, very a fantastic game to watch. Again, as important as last week, both these teams need to win games to make finals. It's as simple as that. We squeaked in. Mount Eliza squeaked in last week against Sorrento, but they can't. There's too many weeks left. There's still. This is 2 games after this. 2 games after this, round 12. It's a must-win for both sides. So it's going to be
the Balnarring, of course, Wayne would be looking for a couple of miracles because they've got to play Mount Eliza, who they rate really highly, and then we have Frankston, and then Karingal.
So you're playing the top three sides.
Yeah, well, so,
Oh, you've got enough.
I keep saying to them, look, it's a small seaside coastal community club, and they're limited with depth and they're limited with money. So they do great.
They do.
They
And a
present
fantastic
well,
place. Fantastic place.
I think each year their ambition is to avoid relegation, to be honest. And last year they made the four, and they were very proud of that. This year they might have to wait.
So, folks, while we're having a chat, I think I've got some draws that are happening as well at the moment. So we can go through those and just have a quick look with technology on our side. We can just have a look on your screens there.
There you go. There's the games for this weekend, Dave. So we're looking at Karingal Franks, and that is 1v2. That is a huge game. Sorrento Rye. Sorrento only a little unlucky last week. Rye still challenging to get back in the four. They need the next 3 weeks to win. Beach versus Hastings. It's going to take a lot from Hastings to get where they are currently. Rosebud Beach is playing very, very well. Again, another small club.
Yep.
And doing very, very well.
They're just very, very keen, and they work hard. And I think that's Balnarring played Rye last week. 2 rinks were very close. One win, one loss. But Lee Williams, who of course played up at Ballarat, the region side, he was on fire.
Yeah, which was a shame. It was. He played so well Saturday, but I came against Lee on Sunday, and he's in the regional singles, and his sciatica came in. He could barely get out of bed on Sunday morning. The gentleman that is, he came along, he marked the games that he had to mark, but he didn't play one. He gave a walk over to the other players, but stayed the whole day to support everybody. Terrific fellow, though. So there you go. There's the ladder. Thank you, Pete. So where we're looking at, tell you what, Dave, you win the next 3, you're a real chance.
Final starts this week.
Yeah, you're right, Peter.
Yeah, that's true.
It's interesting that the loss Frankson had was against Mount Eliza, and I'm sure they were extremely proud of that because they are a juggernaut. There's no doubt about that.
So, yeah, as you can see, the top 4, there's really nothing in. Sorrento knocking on the door. Balnarring, a couple of wins that puts them in there. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks.
We'll go through later in the match, folks. We'll go through Division 2, have a look at what else is happening around the peninsula, and keep you up to date with what's happening with around Clubland and all that. But we've got an important match here tonight, which we'll see just about to kick off very shortly. The Skips are just moseying down to the beach end, and they'll have their final run-ins.
And again, the same as last week, Peter. Lunchtime last Friday, it was cold, it was cloudy. We thought we were going to get a terrible, and then it's blown away. The same as this week. Here at the moment, you can see it in the screen there. There's not a cloud in the sky.
It's one of those. Last week was a postcard day. Today's another postcard day for the peninsula.
And speaking of the peninsula, I think because this goes out not just to peninsula, it goes everywhere. If you want to picture the peninsula, if anyone knows Italy as a country, it comes down from the top right and it has a little toe that comes out to the top left. That's pretty much the same as the peninsula.
Italy. So
it's the same shape.
I don't think the Portsea people are the same relevance of the Sicilians.
Well, that was going to say, that puts Portsea. You're right, that puts Portsea in Sicily. So if you look at it that way, you've got on the inside of the boot would be Mount Eliza, Dave, and directly opposite on the outside would be Balnarring.
Yep. We're the boot.
Well, we're the top of the boot.
Well, I'll tell you what, this place is heaving tonight, Peter, isn't it? Look at that.
There are people everywhere.
Up in the upper level there's heaps of people playing social bowls.
Beautiful bowls, which you can just catch in the corner there. It's full down here as well.
You'll nearly have to put a turnstile on the place.
They've already put the house full sign out, Pete. So again, as we spoke briefly last week, with all small clubs, and Mount Eliza is just a small club, about the same size as Balnarring, 2 greens, small clubhouse. We need our community, we need our players, we need our barefoot players to be able to move forward and to make money so we can do things. So we're not about to close the club tonight to barefoot bowlers because we've got a game on. They're more than welcome. They can come down.
There's no way known the Balnarring faithful would do that. Barefoot bowls is
a mainstay of the club.
Absolutely, it's a main revenue stream.
Yep. So as I mentioned last week, here we go, Shane McComb. So it's a Mount Eliza match. Shane McComb just leading off. Put the jack down. pretty much gone tee to tee. So on this end, you've got Dale Verhagen in the Mount Eliza shirt, the green and white on the left, and Steve Lyon in the blue shirt on the right. So it's the Angry Ibis versus the Pelicans.
And folks, any comments, please put them down on the Halftime Heroes page. We'll get them to you. Even, I'll tell you what, we might put the phone number out there. If anyone wants to dial in and have a chat, we'll. It's the internet, folks. Anything can happen. We can. We're allowed to say anything we like, but just keep it in reason. More than happy to do that.
I might have opened Pandora's box with
Yeah.
Wayne there.
I can think half a dozen people that are going to be ringing in, to be honest, Dave. You can talk to them. So Shane there just in front of Jack High with his first. And Sue coming down. Probably snuck away with that.
Bit of wind assist here on the green tonight, Wayne.
Yeah, pretty much the same as last week, Pete. From where we're watching at this angle, it's coming from the right of the screen to the left of the screen. So you'll see it push the bowls across. Just across the. So it's up to the adjustment.
Background there, as Dave was saying before.
It's nice to see. Looked like a young girl looking over and watching it. So hopefully she'll decide that bowls is her game. That's Sue again making that adjustment for the wind, and it's just as it's dropped off.
Just too much. Laurie Harrington.
The great.
What a lovely man he is.
Yes, he is.
He's an excellent guy.
We've had him. Laurie's been here with us probably half a dozen years now. He's been an absolute benefit to this club. He's a go-getter. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always trying his hardest. He just loves bowling.
And we were saying last week, Wayne, that he's bowling fantastic this year.
Yeah, he's having a very good season. I thought, to be honest, Pete, I was playing in the ones early in the season. I had a bad week and they moved me out, and I was just hoping that Laurie would have a shocker, and he has not had a shocker in the next 11 games. So I'm sitting on the bench commentating, and he's bowling. It's Rod Miller coming in. So Shane McComb, want a measure to be holding two, but there's a lot of bowls to go. So Laurie Harrington, second bowl.
I think he's taken a bit of pace off. Maybe not.
Yeah, he has. Just pulling up. But everyone's still trying to find that line. A lot of bowls crossing the line there, Dave.
Brendan Elliott jumping on line. G'day, Brendan. I don't know about the Dolphins tomorrow, mate. It could be the Darwin bookies coming in and saying he's a bit worried.
G'day, Brendo. Again, this is Rod Miller. Just trying to get past that Shane McComb bowl. His weight's beautiful, but again, you can see the wind just pushing him across.
Nick Wallace on the mat. Great man.
Yes, I'm sure. Sure, Nick's father-in-law and wife are watching this, making comment. Nick Wallace is a very interesting person as well as a good bowler. A very entertaining man.
I know his wife's a very keen bowler, and they are a formidable mixed pair, I understand.
Yeah, except she didn't like being told what to do, so she decided not to bowl with anymore. Okay? And Rob, who's Nick's father, Rob Bankier, is a tremendous fellow. He's just come back to us now from Frankston. He left a few years back, and he's come back to Mount Eliza, which we hope. Oh, it's a great bowl. Nigel Harrison. If you watch him down the other end, you can see it was a great bowl. You'll get a lot of that from Nigel. He's certainly there he is again.
There he is, acknowledging his fans.
Acknowledging how good he is. And Nigel will do that. He's a very entertaining bowler.
He is. We have an excellent social life down at Balnarring. He's always the life of the party. Always.
Yeah. As opposed to the intensity of Nick. Coming down, coming back. Weight's good, but he's just not going to get back quite enough. But pretty fair effort.
It's an interesting head.
Well, that's true. It's Nigel again. If he follows his own bowl down, he'll pick up two here. Again, throwing it out wide, letting the wind do the work, letting the bowl turn in. This is 2 ripping bowls from Nigel. Just about to sick Nick. Oh, wrong side of him. Very, very close. So Dale Hagen, who will have first bowl, he'll be sitting 1 down, but he's got the next 2 or 3.
Yes. And that bowl from Nigel is probably just timely.
Yeah, exactly right. So Dale's obviously, for any bowler out there watching, it's 2 shots. He can try and draw it off, or he can try and run it through.
Did he have a game in one of the lower sides last week, or is he straight in?
No, he played third. He played third to Nick last week. He played third for a couple of weeks. Just missing. But when the selectors sat there this week, they had a chat to him. He said his neck was feeling much better, and Nick was more than happy to step aside and get Dale up to skip. He's been a very successful skip over the years. As I mentioned last week, if Doc is watching this, he broke your heart at Coringal 2 years ago.
You know, he plays with great imagination, I think. Dale, you know, he sometimes looks for things that other people can't see and gets them.
That's true. That's a pretty good description of how Dale goes through his life, is with great imagination. Kathy, his wife at home. Here we go. So Nick asking Dale to play through the orange.
Good day to Jack Stevens and Len Hooton who are watching as well. Peggy McNally and Glenn Hayes that are watching. And what I'll do, folks, is I'll put up the YouTube link if anyone's keen to watch on YouTube. Heaps of viewers jumping over to YouTube, folks.
Yeah, I had a look at the Dale coming down and clean as a whistle.
Very good ball.
Which is why the Mount Eliza club are happy that his neck wasn't broken.
The scenario we all got around the place was frightening.
It was. It really, really was. Because he's only a young fella, Dale. He's only in his 50s. And yeah, a lot of people were very, very frightened for him. So Steve Lyon, bowling now, needs to come back, drop in. It's not going to do it. That could be a big pickup there for the Pelicans. Stales out, and Nick will.
Okay, measuring for 2.
There's a couple of bowls out there of similar colour. I think Nick is probably the only player with black bowls, isn't he? Everyone else has got coloured bowls. And the great thing about Nick as a third, when he's measuring, Nick professionally is a lawyer, was a Queen's Counsel, King's Counsel. So he's never going to try and pull that tape. He's as honest as the day is long. It's 2 rolled out. But he is, as a lawyer, he is very methodical. He won't take a guess at anything.
For the viewers at home, I've just shared the Vimeo link and the YouTube link for those checking that.
So I think 3 fingers went up there, Pete. So that would be 3 to Mount Eliza. And as we go through the night, we'll keep an eye on the other rinks. We will try and keep you up on the Stanaway Pattern rink and on the PS Wind rink. It's nice to see, Dave, that Mark the General is skipping. Last year when he first came in, he was leading a 2, and then he played 2, I think, in the regions.
Yeah, he
played
did.
very, very well last year. He didn't like his form this year, but we watched him play. He's very, very critical on himself for him, a bad bowl was 8 inches away. So it's great to see.
I think it's testament to what a quality human being he is.
Yeah, lovely fellow, very quiet, very humble.
He came into skip against Frankston. He replaced someone who couldn't play, and he'd never skipped before, and he beat Gary Barnett by about 20 shots.
Oh, that's
a star is born.
That's
He had the reality check last week against Lee
Williams.
But he's done very well.
Oh, that's great. That's good.
He's a good thinker about the game.
And a great lover of the game.
Yes.
I bump into him around the place at all sorts of tournaments and things. He's always putting his hand up to come in and have a crack. So good to see the general doing well. So Shane McComb, a little short the way in, but you can see the grass has adjusted. So that's coming on the narrow side now. Again, hasn't crossed the head. So from this end, Pete, the wind will be coming from the left of screen to the right of screen. So again, Shane McComb, there we go, he's just led now, and he's part of the McComb family.
Dynasty.
Yes, part of the pioneering family. He came to us from cricket, where he was a slogging batsman, was how he was. Everyone thinks he was a fast bowler, but no, he was there he goes. He's just pushed himself up for 2. He was a batter, and he came through us through Community Challenge, and he thought the game was all about driving. This is his second year at leading, and he says he's still learning what the game's about, so that's great to see.
It's interesting when you first start playing the old time. Oh, you got to lead for 9 years before you and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, what do you say, Sue? Just hard to say on that camera angle, but it's very close. So I noticed the same surnames, Dave, between you and Sue.
Well
is she your younger sister?
She is my younger sister. We're well known to each other.
That's not true. They are husband and wife, if anyone was asking.
I actually started bowling at Frankston. Harold McComb, and there was Doug McComb, but they were two of the absolute forefathers of the club.
That's right. They were back in the days. They were doing boats and all of that sort of stuff.
And they were clearly one of the power families of the area.
Again,
nice reply.
Very nice reply. So Laurie now up on the mat. Needs to add to Shane's, or just get the edge and turn himself in. You can see the lead and the third standing off to one side there, just discussing. And it's not that the players don't like each other, but I spoke to them earlier and said, can you just ensure that you're not standing directly by the end? So it's good to see that they are standing.
You made that
one side out.
Very clear, Wayne, I must say.
I'm pretty sure you asked for a $2,000 surety of means of belief.
Steve Lyman just asking for a bowl on the forehand side, using the wind to come in. It's probably going to turn a little bit early for Rod. So there's no real indication from the skips. I haven't seen anyone who's holding or anything there. They're very focused on. It must be very close in there, Dave.
I think so, and they're not using balls.
Well, we'll put some scores up.
We'll keep our scores up here. You'll find
halftime heroes is always out front, Wayne. No, we've got to remember.
Well, it means we have to re-educate the skips that they need to put the score up as well as the seconds. Most of the boards, for those at home, the boards you can see behind the players, most of them will get updated every second end when the seconds who keep the cards are up that end. So, Dave, after your sojourn from Gippsland to Ballarat a couple of weeks back, where they had live scoring,
yes,
on the app, and they had the electronic board, and they had the card. How did you feel that went with the seconds?
The seconds didn't always do it, because there was another thing required, was computer literacy. And even though it's basically simple, once you know, it just takes a little while to come to grips with it. But generally, I thought it worked okay.
Yeah, I agree, but it's not a criticism. But I think moving forward, if we're going to live score, which I think is certainly the way to go, then we need to probably not the cards or not keep the main board. But the seconds, if you're trying to do three things as well as hand bowls and support your team, it's getting a little bit onerous on them. Maybe the answer would be to give the skips the cards and give the live scoring to the seconds. Nigel coming through with weight, pushing Laurie Harrington right through the head.
So what do you think? Is the man he's holding two here? Do you think
It's I would say the one that's sitting there at about 5 o'clock, just to the right of the jack. Shane McKeon's bowl, that is definitely the one. But I wouldn't stretch it any further than that at this stage. But considering the wind out there, that's actually not such a bad head. There's most of those bowls are within the old yardstick, if not closer. So you wouldn't be disappointed with that. Again, Dale with the first bowl. Thank you, Pete. That's a nice clear picture of the head. That shows exactly how close those bowls are. And on a windy night like this, with a fluky breeze and the green under full sun, that's not too bad. Just a couple of loose bowls, everything's pretty close. So it looks to me that Darwa Hagen's looking for something way down the back if he possibly can. They must have both stayed up.
Just hung on.
Yeah. See Nick Wallace not picking anything up out of the ditch.
When Peter and I worked together down at Newborough a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
And there was a final of the Energy Australian singles between Gary Kelly, the Irish international, and Corey Wedlock. Now that would be a final anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. Absolutely.
And it was amazing, wasn't it? The quality of.
Yeah, and Corey Wedlock being the young Australian, of course.
Yes.
Jackaroo, I think he's.
Yeah,
it's Oh, that Steve line is so close. And if you're unsure how close, just keep an eye on Nigel Harrison during the night. He will be able to tell you with body language how close or how good. Very animated player, terrific fella. So Dale changing tack, not going all the way back, just trying to draw a second. Looks like he's a little bit over.
Some scores coming through from
Ring 9 was 1 to Balnarring. For those, if they see the end boards, Balnarring is the team on the bottom. The home team holds the top. Oh, sorry, no, Ring 9 is 3 to Balnarring. Must be the rink across.
correct.
Yep. Yeah, 3-1. So Balnarring at this stage, 4-3 up. So Eliza away again. Shane McComb to lead off. Yeah, just wait until the score goes up, Pete, and then we know where we are. I'll have a word. Oh, Laurie Harrington is second, so it is not unexpected. If Laurie has to concentrate on bowling and keeping the board, he can only do one thing.
You mean, is he a one-trick pony?
He's a male. He'll watch this replay during the week and I'll be getting a phone call about disrespecting the chairman of selectors. Again, as you can see, Shane McComb has gone almost full length. Which is not unusual. You find in most Division 1 games, it's either going to be short or full length. There's not a lot of what they call the social length, the three-quarter length.
I can remember when I first started playing the first couple of years when I was a rookie, go to practice Thursday nights down at the club, and there'd be a couple of old codgers. We'd play 2/3 length, up and back and up and back and up and back for about 2 hours, and then go home.
Yep, there you go.
5 nights a week.
Whereas they tell me the great Glenn Bassisto, we had a David Wellington here who used to play with Bozzy.
Yep.
You'd know David. And he said he watched Bozzy come down to practice and he would be there either 1 minute or 4 hours. He would be there until he put 4 bowls of his touching each other. Then we'd pick up his bag and go home. If it was the first end or the 20th end.
Basisto was an enigma. You know, he had his own style of everything. But boy, he could play bowls.
Oh, geez, he could play bowls.
Richard Benwell saying there, go with the mighty Ibis.
Ah, that's who's missing. Richie Benwell. I didn't see him here tonight, Senior Sergeant. He's, I don't know if you know, Dave, but Richie's son Dylan is back playing bowls again.
He's at Melbourne, is he?
Yes, I believe he's at Melbourne.
Very good player.
Very good player. He came up through the Pythons here and he played skip at Clayton for many, many years. Then family got the way, so he was very, very busy being a husband and a new dad. So it's good to see him back playing again.
I remember the late, great Bruce Hensel telling me about Glenn Basisto. And he'd look in the... Bruce would look in the Age on Sunday and look at the results, and if Basisto got beaten, very rare, but if he got beaten, he was a bank manager, you could guarantee he'd be in the Hensel office at 8:30 on the Monday morning and say, Bruce, there's something wrong with these bowls. And Bruce would say, righto, come back and pick them up at 5 o'clock. And Bruce would take him out the back and say to the guy, give these a good polish.
bring them back out again.
And the next week, Basisto would say, well, I don't know what you did, Bruce, but they went good today. So he was, he was a classic golfer. So psycho,
but he was, no, he was an elite player. And all elite players.
He was an enigma. There's a good story about Basisto's son, John, who was a very good player. And he was leading for him at Q. And he threw 2 jacks in a row in the ditch. And when they crossed over the second time, Basisto said, you do that again and you're walking home.
Thanks, Dad.
So they won the next round. John got on the mat and went, threw it full pelt into the ditch. And as they cross over, he said, we're in my car, Dad.
It's like husband and wives playing together. It's not a thing you want to do. I think father and son would be even worse. Whoa. So currently the bowl in front is probably holding, which looks like Laurie Harrington's. Nick Wallace on the mat, coming down on the narrow side. Because the wind from where you're seeing it there is right to left. Nick's a Henselite bowler. He bowls with extra ease.
Big numbers jumping on, which is great. Going to hello to Maureen, Shane, Mick Gardner, Renato, Michael Toole, Jeffrey Green, Damien Barnes, Nick Hinkley, Belinda Jackson.
Well, Mick Gardner, I knew Mick Gardner many, many years ago. Probably not. Oops, what have we done? We've lost everything on it. We're back. Mick Gardner was big involved in transport. He built a custom truck many, many years ago. He used to drive Melbourne, Sydney in it and stopped the world. It was an amazing thing. So I don't think it'd be the same Mick Gardner. Again, Nick Wallace now on the mat. Dale indicating to him with his foot that he was a good 3 feet through on the first. Or for those at home, a metre.
Some of the toes.
There we go. Nick Wallace has just absolutely drawn the shot. When I first took up bowls, it'd been nearly 20 years ago now, Dave. My wife was born after decimalisation. So when I took up the game, and I'm like, yep, you're a yard through, she would say, give me that in centimetres. So I learned very quickly how to convert inches to centimetres and feet to metres.
I often wonder when I hear the old guys talking to the younger players, you're a yard short, blah, blah, blah. What the heck's he talking about?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be the question. Give me that in real numbers. We've got a player here, John Solomons. He's an ex-brickie, and he actually works in either brick courses or centimetres. He will tell a bowler that you're 11.40 short. So if you get the old bloke on him, they've got no idea what he's talking about. So I'm just asking the players to move off the peg as he needs to use it as a line. Again, nothing fussy about Dale's delivery. Nice, simple, straightforward. And just to show that he knows what he's doing. So you mentioned earlier Steve Lyon, ex-Premier League at Essendon.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on another rink, a couple of rinks across. We've got a chap who used to lead for him in the same team. Brian Hemley used to lead in the same team as Steve
another
Lyon.
cracking little bloke too.
Yes, he is. Terrific fellow.
A lot of people would know Steve's father, Harry, played for Victoria between 1969 and 1976 and won the 1970 Australian Fours with three other guys from Essendon. So he comes from
bowling royalty.
He does.
Because it's more than a game. It's a sport that father, son, grandfather can play. We had the opening of our synthetic greens 10 years ago. And we had John Gregson, who was Dylan Fisher's grandfather.
And my phys ed teacher.
And your phys ed teacher.
And he claims I'm his success story, Wayne.
He claims you're a success story.
I think there's some sarcasm.
I think there might be. So we had John Gregson, we had Todd Simmons, we had Dylan Fisher, and we had Jet Fisher. So there's 4 generations of the one family all playing bowls together. It was fantastic to see it.
Lovely.
So both skips marching down to have a look and see what's going on.
Well, I'm sure Steve doesn't want this to get too far out of hand.
No, at 5, it's less than an end at this stage. You know, a good end from Balnarring would see them all tied up again. But looking at the other 2 rinks, third rink cross, which would be the Pearce rink, I would mention Mike Pearce against Danny. Currently sitting 4-1. Danny's not going to let that hang around, I can tell you now. Danny's a very, very good bowler. Known him for a long time.
He's done a very good job at Balnarring as chairman, by the way.
He has absolutely. He's really got that club up and running. It's been fantastic. We medalised on Balnarring over the last, I suppose, since Danny moved back there from Hastings. We've got a close bond with people. We're good mates between the clubs as well. We support them on their days. They come here and support us on our days.
And your day is sacrosanct to them.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, why don't we have?" Because
that's Mount Eliza's day.
Yeah. And I mean, we have a mutual. I mean, Bill Johnson was here and made an impact. And,
yes, he was. Awesome.
And he's.
I think I saw young William here earlier in the night.
Well, he has threatened, and that's the word I'm using.
Uh-oh.
He's threatened to be here. So
maybe we can put him on the microphone next to Peter.
Uh-oh.
Nick Wallace measuring again. So, Dave, I was chatting to Pete earlier. I mentioned last week during the telecast that the region is looking at changing our regional rules to allow later finishes on Saturday. So maybe we could do these sorts of things on a Saturday to allow all the clubs to do their barefoot and everything else. Even Coringal, the great Sky Dome, on a Friday, they've got a lot of barefoot happening. But if we would be able to do a twilight game on a Saturday, if we could do it. Balnarring, you've got lights. It could be here. It could be at Rosebud. It could be at Frankston. It could be at the Sky Dome. Because Friday across the region, this is a tourist region, and we rely on tourists in particular. We rely on making our money as clubs over the summer season with the barefooters. So it was raised, and the region was actually quite happy to listen to it. So we'll see how that goes next year.
What's another area where I think we are being well served? Doug Fitcher just really impresses me.
Yes.
He's running the association beautifully. His sincerity is amazing. I know Doug from, we have a cricketing history. He was a wonderful player.
Doug was, as a cricketer as well.
Yeah, left hand, top order bat. Very, very good. And I might point out, the best disco dancer I've ever seen.
I will remind him
We
of
are
that the
right
next time I see
into,
him.
and he's probably watching now, so I'm sorry to put your weights up, Doug, but he's right in John Travolta territory.
I'll buy him a pair of tight white pants and see how
On
we go.
2 or 3 occasions where we were all out disco,
Actually,
we'd all get off the floor when he got up.
I think there's some security footage from the hotels in circulation at the moment.
He's a good guy, a great guy, a real man's man, and I don't mean that derogatory, but he's a terrific guy.
6, 7, up to 3. Yep. So Sue, your beloved. Oh, that's geez. I would give that to Sue by a good 2 bowls. So the call from Sue.
Steve just put the finger down, so maybe it's an optical illusion.
Well, Sue changing hands, but doesn't want the risk of putting Shane in. Playing on the tighter side. Again, Sue Henslight bowler.
Yeah.
And got it. Oh, or not. So Laurie coming down, following Sue down on that hand, which would indicate that the bowl on the left of screen there is probably shot. The call up, just you wait, Laurie.
Peter, what game's on Halftime Heroes tomorrow?
The Kringle Frankston match, Mega 1 versus 2.
That's a big game.
That's a big game.
So we might have the Darwin bookie I did receive a text from him before. Lots of people laying off on Frankston.
Well, it's a hard call because Frankston last night had the final of their men's singles, and Alan Ash is absolutely on fire. He played Michael Steen and beat him with 10 in the back pocket. So Alan Ash and Michael Steen are very good bowler, but Ashy at the moment is in fantastic form. So the Kringle players to come up against Ashy tomorrow, good luck.
The Darwin bookie mentioned that the Frankston guys on record do get a bit camera shy.
Well, I don't know who that would be.
No, they sometimes freeze against the live streams. So.
Is that at Kringle or at Frankston?
At Kringle.
Oh, it's at Kringle under the dome.
Yep.
Yeah, played there on Tuesday. What a fantastic facility that is.
It is.
Yeah, we played under the dome on Tuesday, and it was just nice to be able to play in the shade. It wasn't terribly humid. It certainly wasn't too warm. It was every club should have one of those.
Yeah, they just have to find $2 million, and away they go. I must tell you, when we put it up, now I know the Green has had some negative vibe about it, and I don't know what they can do about it because they've spent tens of thousands of dollars putting it up and screeding it, and putting down this, but they will continue to make their best efforts. And yet the funny thing is, when a club has a dodgy grass green,
Nobody says
everyone
anything.
just puts up with it.
Of course they do.
But I remember saying to people, look, with this roof, you won't get sunburn when it's hot, and you won't get wet when it rains.
Exactly. No, we played there on Tuesday, and like any green, people think, oh, it's under roof, the wind won't affect. No, we had a wide side and a narrow side, but because the breeze comes across, it's not like it's in a box. It's fairly open on one
we
side.
would have built a shed if that were the case. If you just wanted to have, rarefied, just build a shed.
I think Shepparton East. Park is open, but Shepparton East is pretty much in a big shed.
Traralgon?
Yes.
Traralgon?
I thought that was grain silos when I went in there.
Yeah, and the really good players at Traralgon, once they get the grass either side, they're home for the rest
Cheers,
of the
keep going. Brighton. There's one that's completely enclosed. There's Brighton. The Blue Room at Brighton. So Nigel just trying to reacher, his weight would have been good. He just, around those front bowls, he would have been right on that. Dale claiming one. Getting Nick to come down on the other hand. And again, Nick Wallace with the arm, as you can see, swing play. He went to the arm, but he's an interesting case. You'll see him run down the green after his bowl. And I've had a number of opposition players say, well, why is this on an arm? He's obviously got no back problems. Nick's only problem was he had 27 different ways to deliver a bowl, and they all involved dumping. So moving to an arm has just been an absolute bonus for him and has improved his bowls out of sight. Back to as good as he was, I would think, 12 years ago.
I have a vivid memory of playing Dylan, a 12-year-old Dylan Fisher in the final singles here. And I remember Dylan had red hair that reached down to his buttocks.
That would be about right.
But by gee, you could just tell he used natural ability.
Yes, the young lad that grew up to be a young man that went to be champion of champions and went on to play for Australia and play state. And
won the World Junior Singles.
Yeah, fantastic player.
And a good kid too.
Back playing?
He's a man, yeah. He's playing for Victoria.
Yep. He was, as I said, he started his career here, Dylan, as a 10 or 11-year-old. And Dylan's nan, Pam Gregson, I still remember here, still bowling. So yes, we certainly know what Dylan's up to. She's a very, very proud nana, is Pam.
You know that John Gregson. He dined off the fact that he did such a good job with me as my physio teacher.
Yeah, not the fact that he had a grandson that could out-bowl anybody. Oh, it's Dale just about tipping Sue in for shot there. Just pulled up. Steve Lyon will be looking for a connection on the last for Hagen bowl. Any touch on that and it will tip Sue in. Yeah, just looking to turn. It's going to be very close here. Gets onto the back of Dale. Doesn't need to. Let's just draw the shot. 2 down now. Tipped it in, not for 1, but 2.
Some scores coming from other rinks. 3 all on ring 9 and 4-3 on ring 10.
Right, so what we've got is Mentalizer 1, Mentalizer 2, Mentalizer 3. So at your screen, that is rink 9, rink 10, rink 8, rink 9, rink 10, rink 8, rink 9, rink 10.
It's a big chance here for Balnarring to take 3.
Yep,
plenty of room.
Steve just basically has to do the same bowl. His weight was beautiful.
He had a good series up at Ballarat too, Wayne.
Yes.
Playing with Mike Pearce. Very similar guys, same sort of personalities, age, whatever. It worked.
Yeah, because I think Steve the last couple of years has been skipping.
Yeah.
So playing 3 to Mike Pearce. As you say, very similar outlook and attitude, very similar experiences, been bowling a long time.
Well, Mike Pearce has a fantastic bowls CV. He's played for 3 states.
Yeah, and
played for Northern Territory, Queensland, Victoria.
Tasmania,
sorry, not Queensland.
New South Wales.
Anyway, because his mother was Melbourne, she was a wonderful player too. She played up in Queensland.
Yes, and his father, Com Games, way back.
That could be.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he comes from pretty good...
yes, another good bowling heritage. Mike, as I mentioned to people last week, this is his first full season on the arm. About halfway through last season, he changed to an arm because being a very tall man, and you get to a certain age and your back goes anyway, but long arms, long levers, and just really difficult for him to get down. So he picked up the arm, and people now go, wow, cheat stick. It's like, well, it's not at all. I know for a fact that Mike is down here 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. He makes sure that he has learned how to play with that arm to the best of his ability.
Well, there's 2 things. It's a lot harder to use than it looks.
That's very true.
Plus, a lot of good bowlers take on playing with the arm, and they can't handle it.
That's also true. I've watched many players pick it up, put it down. Where are you, Billy Johnson? Pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. But we've got a policy here with our coaches that if we're open to anyone to take up bowls, and if we've got a new bowler who has trouble getting that bowl down cleanly, then we will train from the very beginning with an arm.
Right.
They will start with an arm because any bowling club, and it doesn't matter whether you're a synthetic like us or a grass green, the protection of the greens is the utmost. Because if you crash one of these bowls, and these bowls, they're over a kilo each. You drop one into a hard surface like this, and it fractures the substrata.
Yeah.
You're in a lot of trouble. So Shane McComb looking to get past Sue again, up or down. Sue on the mat.
Which club is Dolphins from John's Bowls? Well, John, it's the City of Frankston Dolphins,
They are.
which Brendan Elliott will be playing for tomorrow. Of course, John moving on to Chatty.
Yes, and hasn't that been a success story from a club that for those that don't know, Chatty nearly folded. The council weren't very happy with them, and their membership had the wonderful idea to do a new calendar, which you would think for a bowls club would not be the best idea, but it got them attention and it got them sponsorship, and they have just been up and running ever since. It's a great success story.
I hope John Bowles wasn't one of the people on the calendar.
No, actually, at the time he was at Coringle, so
Oh.
that was a good thing.
I do know this fellow.
Yes, you do. As you can see, the leads are finished, and great correction on both their second bowls. So they found that extra meterage to get there. Corey Harrington coming down with his first.
Big numbers already venturing through our programs in YouTube, Vimeo, and Facebook. We're off to Rye Bowls Club. We're off to Mount Eliza Bowls Club. We're off to the MPBR Bowls page.
Well, no more giving Doug Fitcher any cheek.
I'll find a way. Don't you worry about that.
We're off to the Coringle Bowls page. I'm just looking now, and YouTube and Vimeo are going full throttle at the moment.
I'll mention that when we finished last week, Dave, I said to Pete, "Oh, how did we go?" And he gave me the numbers, and I thought, "Oh, it's pretty good." He said, "You give it a week." He said, "That'll be double by then." I said, "Why would that be?" He said, "Because every single one of these players is going to go home and tell all their family that they need to get onto YouTube to watch the game they just played." And it certainly did by the end of the week.
So continue just on the halftime heroes page, not the other pages, because we go correct to those pages. We've already cracked 1,000 people. So
That's just amazing.
and that tips off a great week, which has seen over 94,500 people just jump on the videos for the last week.
That is amazing. You said it a double. That's more than double. That's 10 times what it was last week, Pete. So again, Nigel Harrison, you'll see him down the other end clapping himself. Yep. There he goes.
He's a one-man booster team there.
Yeah, but what a fabulous bowl. He was 2, maybe even 3 down. He's just come through, picked up the jacks Saturday. So the pressure will now be on Nick Wallace. Because
I hope all the people down at Balnarring are watching this in the club.
Well, from what there's only one phone connection going into Balnarring, so it is the worst place. I can't do any sport from Balnarring on a mobile telecast.
Peter,
I'm not having a go. I'm not having a go.
Beautiful little country village, isn't it,
And
Dave?
it's fantastic.
It is. I mean, we travel 50 kilometres to get there.
And for anyone that gets down there, do yourselves a favour. Get along to the local Balnarring pub. It is an absolute cracking feed.
All the heritage.
Yeah, the heritage. I know the owners of heritage, and it's good old country hospitality. converted farmhouse. They've done a lot of work there since they bought it just prior to COVID, and they will certainly look after you. I think if you tell them that Wayne sent you, you'll probably get charged double. So maybe keep that one under your hat. That's Paula and her family. Her husband and her daughters run up down there. So Steve calling Nige to walk down and have a look, but Nige never walks anywhere.
No. He's like the ever-ready bunny.
He certainly is.
He's a very good dancer too. Not as good as but very good.
Energetic, he would be.
Yeah,
Energetic.
Oh, yes.
So, John, we've adjusted the volume. It's all coming through loud and clear.
Okay.
So, I'm guessing he's telling me that he's on his laptop, which might be a 386 HP.
Where's John from?
Chatty.
John Bowles, yeah.
Oh, John Bowles, yes.
That's all right. Yeah, because John, must point out, last week we had a lot of fluffing through the microphone from the wind, so it's hard to get what the levels are. But Pete's the expert. Coming in, looking for the ad. He's going to take that jack and go, oh, very close. He stays up. It's a great bowl.
Oh, yes.
And it has. That's finished about 6 inches short of the ditch. Very, very good home. Asking to play through with half a yard, try and connect with the orange, because the second shot currently is the Harrington bowl.
And sun setting here in
sunny Mount Eliza.
Sunny Mount Eliza.
Yeah, so it does. The colours are actually pretty good, Pete, because I know the sun is directly in the camera's face at the moment. It's actually holding up pretty well.
Last week we got accused of using the same film as Gone with the Wind.
Sepia it out, did it?
Yep. So but we were just mucking around the light levels and doing our best.
So a little story from this morning, David. I worked for a local hardware and timber company, and I'd had a job in Frankston, and I delivered to it, and I know the bosses aren't listening, they're not lawn bowlers, but I drove around the corner and parked under a tree to have my morning coffee, and I'm looking at YouTube, I'm listening to the radio, I'm having coffee, and there's this thump, thump, thump on the door, scared the bejesus out of me. And there's Coggo from Frankston bashing on the door. I went, what are you doing? He said, you parked in front of my driveway. So I couldn't even sneak in a cup of coffee without some Coles person coming and annoying me.
He's a ripping good guy.
Pete, oh, yeah, certainly is.
He did a good job in the management team, Ballarat too. He had all the right people doing all the right stuff.
Yeah, and certainly all the players felt the same. So if you want to go and do the same next year, you are more than welcome. Oops, we have a barefoot bowler crossing behind, ducking under the camera. Doesn't matter. We have it blocked off there to stop that, but occasionally one will sneak through. And it's not really a bother to the players. There's a lot of movement, noise, and everything happening behind the head anyway. It doesn't affect them. There we go. Just in time for Dale, who's playing. And got him. I think he has just promoted Nick Wallace's bowl up for sure. Yeah, that looks like you can see the grey line around the bowl. That generally indicates that somebody bowling with an arm. Yeah. So Dale hitting a short bowl, getting shot. Thank you very much.
Already there's been some very good conversions played on this rink.
Yeah, they have. And you'll see it on them.
The standard's excellent.
I certainly know that Stevie Lyon's got some great bowls on him here. Having a look, and only got through that gap. You've got to be kidding. So Nick Wallace just asking to beat that that bowl on the right-hand side. Give me Eliza another one. Oh, good mate of mine. He owns, did you see that German Shepherd when you came in, the big hairy German Shepherd? Known as Leo, would have been sitting near the door when you came in, Dave. Yeah, everyone thinks it's security, but that was Leo's owner.
There are the three amigos on screen at the moment.
Oh, there we are.
So, great coverage here. Just getting through some bowls and just trying through. So Mount Eliza get the map. They're just updating the score. I think they picked up
2. It's gone to 8, Pete.
just the score below 8. Yes.
Again, Shane is sticking to a game plan. He's running within every end. It's been within 2 metres of full length. And I would imagine it's not a case of if, it's when Steve Lyon gets to that length will change. That was last week's umpire, my fellow. Just checking to see that I would pop off commentary for umpire this week. He didn't realise it was umpire. Bring that to lunch. So, is the umpire 2 blokes? My black hat. Put my umpire's hat on. Just coming in. Up short. So yesterday it was Mount Eliza's President's Day here, Dave. I think Billy and the boys came across from Balnarring. We had a lot of people here. The way a President's Day works on the peninsula is every club puts in a team and you go and support every other club. And we had all rinks full yesterday. So we had 28 teams, which was fantastic. And it's a bit of an opportunity certainly for our club to reward a lot of the volunteers, whether they be the sausage sizzlers or the security or the bar people. They all get to put a team in, and we use that for half the field, and then we fill it with players from other clubs. And it was a great success yesterday. And
I'm pleased to hear that because that was one of the old
way of doing
the
it.
old things that was slowly dropping off, and it's wonderful to hear it's still alive here.
Yes, it certainly is in our region. It's and we're trying to. It doesn't matter whether it's the old days of north and south. It's all one region now. So if anyone's having President's Day on what you call, I suppose, the East Coast, which is Balnarring and Flinders, Hastings, etc., then yeah, put the call out because you'll certainly get a team from Mount Eliza. Call goes out from Dale. Laurie Harrington behind and counting. The crowd are gobsmacked. They can't believe Laurie actually did it. That's a little unfair on Laurie. He bowls pretty well.
So currently I have the score at 11-21.
So the rinks going across, Pete, are 8-2. The next one across is
4-3.
4-3. That's tight, isn't it? And 9-6. So really, apart from this rink, and it's not going to stay this way, it never does. Without telling Tars out of school, I skipped a rink against Coringal last week against the lovely Carolyn. We had them 13 zip down. We had them on toast, and we went down by 6 in the end. So don't take much notice of the early score, people. It does not stay the same. So Nick Wallace,
ACDC playing in the background.
yeah, probably doesn't come through, but
They'll be able to hear it.
yeah, we've made that sort of. Even if it's not barefooting, you play here on a Tuesday midweek, or you play here on a Saturday on a weekend pennant. There will be music in the background. It's not so loud; it's distracting. But we found that for all the players, not just the analyzer players, but for all the players, it just gives them between their shots or between the ends, just somewhere to sit quietly in their own woods. Because it is a fun game, but it's also a game of pressure on yourself, um, pressure to perform for your teammates. So to have something in the background that is familiar, that people can just close their eyes. We even have some players who I won't name who will dance down the green.
I'm just worried about the ACDC. That's all right.
That's a bit unfair, Pete.
Get you out this year, so I'll be getting tickets.
How many original members are there? 2.
2, I think. Yep.
Nick Wallace just drawing up directly behind the jack with a fantastic bowl. I can tell you, Pete, that in my, well, I guess you would call it these days is year 10 with the back. It's Form 4. We actually had ACDC at our school formal.
Fantastic.
Yeah, tell you what. People these days, they don't believe that. Oh, yeah, some random blondes just handing me a car keys.
Yeah. ACDC would have been a little loud for the school prom, wouldn't they?
Well, their manager at the time, this is before they broke big and had it, he would push them into school formals, school proms, Chelsea Hall, Frankston Mechanics Hall, 4 Mushroom Records picked them up, and bang, away they went. And then if you wanted to come and play, you got to play $10 million. So as kids, we knew how good they were. We were very, very fortunate.
Just going around, we'll call it going around the grounds. I can tell you in Metro, in Premier, Altona 16, Deer Park 21. And that's a completion of 21 ends.
All right. I would think that Dave Deer Park would have to be the favourite there.
I mean, look at the quality of their players. You know, just see Lee Schreiner's one of them. They've got
Also, Leroy's back from Raymond Terrace.
no, he just plays here as a
Oh,
as a
FIFO.
yeah. What do they call them?
Oh, marquee player.
Marquee.
And Lee is known to everybody in the peninsula. He played down here for a number of years with Coringal. He's
Won
just
everything 1 year.
absolutely won everything, including world champion of champions.
He's a great player. I was over in Auckland a couple of months ago when he won again. I mean, I must have admiration for the guy. You know, he has his own demons, and
He does. Oh, geez, he can play.
he can play. And he's a very, very good teacher.
I know when he, I was there when he won the Australian Open with Nev.
Neville.
And the call went up on the last bowl of the last stand, and you could just hear Leroy yell out top voice, "I've got it! I've got it!" And that was it. That was the Australian Open there, Pairs.
We haven't seen Neville for a while.
Yeah, right. Is he playing
He's
still?
over in New Zealand. He'd be playing. He just loved ball. So
Oh, absolutely.
I think
Great young player.
I think it might be love that got him over to that side of the Tasman.
Wow, look at that shot there.
So it's Hagen. Just again drawing in front of the jackets. Hole and a half. So Manly's are currently 3. This is a lot of pressure on Steve. Although Steve has the advantage. He's got this. Fantastic ball from Steve. Otherwise known as a stun and run. Play enough weight to push through and sit on the jack.
See the Channel 9 just jumping on some news out of Mooney Ponds.
Oh,
Jeez.
there's been a lot of stupidity involved in that issue.
So we'll let that one play out in the media circus. That one.
Yes.
So Steve Lyons was probably laying 4 down there. Played a stunner run, came through, was within an inch of taking the shot. So a great conversion by Steve. Again, as you can see where the jack is finished, Shane McComb rolling virtually tee to tee, maximum length. Which until Dale calls differently will be where it goes. So across the other two, nothing updated there, Pete. Still 4-3 and 9-6. Shane's bowl coming in now. He's going to be pretty happy with this one, I would think. Again, just the breeze pushing him across, but the weight is lovely. Although a noticeable drop in the wind, Pete. It's not blowing as hard as it was last week, mate.
It was absolutely blowing a gale.
And if anyone's watching that, it's Coke.
And if you believe that,
yeah, I've got a great block of land for you. So I've just watched. We were talking about Brian Him a little earlier, who used to lead for Steve Lyon, and he's been a great lead for years. They've got him up this year playing 3 to Mike Pierce. He made a decision at the start of the year to ask the selectors if he could play up under Mike. And play up under Mike, he has just driven at the head, taking everything else out and leaving his own bowl sitting there for shot. So he's learning very, very well, is Brian. So Sue Allen, second bowl down. We're just trying to come under that outside bowl of Shane's and sit on his back bowl. That's a pretty good track. Under
and into the shot.
Just sitting behind. It's a pretty handy second shot. Yeah, as Dale says, to play the same hand as Sue. If he's a little long lorry, he'll pop Sue out the back.
Just a reminder, some heap of events on at the moment, folks. I'm just going through a couple for you now. The 2025 Cheltenham Classic Fours on Sunday, the 16th of March. Jump in, $3,000 prize money.
As we saw there, Laurie Harrington just drawing 6 inches behind the jack. There will be a lot on, Pete. It's coming to that time of year as we come into February and summer, last month of summer, and then you're leading into autumn. The weather is fantastic in Melbourne. So this is when the tournament season really takes off down here.
The Hillsfield Bowling Club, their Open Fours tournament is chock-a-blocks, folks. So 16th of Feb. Tickets are all gone.
Yes, but if you can't get in, you can at least get along to Four Pillars Gin and have a pretty good time at Hillsville.
And if you get kicked out of Hillsville, folks, just keep on going. The Mathra Bowls Club, they have their affiliated invitation fours.
There's a little day trip for you.
Yeah, you get to Marysville and turn right.
Yep.
But if anyone on the peninsula, and I would imagine we have a lot of viewers on the peninsula watching, if they just go to the MPBR website, most people's tournaments will be listed up there. And if you see them, just ring the number. Generally, if it's Rosebud, it'll be Frankie. If it's here, it'll be Julie. All those people, everyone knows who they are. Ring them, get a team in. Enjoy the summer, enjoy the sport while we've got it. Because come winter time, there's not a lot happening in Melbourne.
Unless you've got a roof. Just a reminder, the Lakes Entrance Bowls Club have their Labor Day long weekend, 5 games of 16 ins, 6 gorillas in prize money, folks. Another good trip down the highway
to the Riverina of Victoria, Lakes Entrance. What a beautiful place! You can stop it at Maffra on the way down, play there, then continue on to Lakes Entrance.
Stop in for a scone in Lindenau.
Was that the Riverina or the Riviera?
Riviera, sorry, the Riverina. We have sorry, yes, it is the Riviera of Victoria.
The Riverina, you can get enjoyment in other ways.
having trouble, getting the Gippsland, the Rosen Bowls Club, you have to train up like the milestone 2-mole pair triples. So they also have $3,360 in prize money.
There's plenty of dosh around, isn't there?
There is, and it's a big. It's not onerous on the clubs, but it's a big push by the clubs. Thank God we've got sponsors. And I'll speak out quickly for one that is a major sponsor on the Morning Sprint is Bendigo Bank. Terrific sponsor of Balnarring.
Oh, yeah.
And a big sponsor. Every club on the peninsula, I'm sure, has got a Bendigo Bank sponsorship at some stage. They're fantastic. They're a community bank. Their profits go into the community, and all bowls clubs are a big part of the community. The days of having a little private bowls club where nobody came, well, as we could see in the background there, there's everywhere is full, and we rely on our sponsors to survive.
Now I'm going to have a little gripe, Wayne. I'm going to have a little gripe right now. I work in the bowls industry, so I see a lot of presentations, and I see guys get up and say, "I'd like to thank the sponsors. Without them, these events wouldn't go on." Hello, name them. Find out maybe who the contact was. I'd like to thank, Wayne Hogan from, Bendigo Bank. I remember I've seen the guy Ian Shoeback one day at Richmond Union. He thanked the place where he stayed, the people who hire a car, blah, 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 and did it really professionally. But this, like, thank sponsors, without them, these things
maybe
is hopeless. Learn how to
call them up.
Yes,
exactly. So great words there from Dave. You're playing. You've received the invite. You know what sponsors are. Maybe just make a little note on the napkin. So yeah, you know who it is that's giving you the check. You know the person's name. You know who they work for. It's not a lot to ask.
While I'm hot,
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And then you get a presentation photo. I know a bit about this because I take a lot of.
You take a lot.
And you've got a guy standing with a stubby. And you want to send these photos to the sponsor with appreciation. And it's a guy with a stubby. He's got a shirt hanging out. His hair's all. We're our own worst enemy in a lot of ways.
I think that harks back to a few years. We won't name the club, Dave, but I remember you having quite stern words. There were many stubbies in that photo, and you were not happy about it.
Oh, well, it's just, this isn't a yobbo sport. I mean, you can have fun, but, please.
Well, even now, on the Morning Sprint, we don't allow, during play, there is no drinking on the green or behind the green. The old days, particularly, well, obviously when you took it up, but even when I took it up 20 years ago, it was nothing for players to come in and have 4 or 5 stubbies before they started and have one each end as they played. Those days are gone. You can still have a drink at the end of the day. Don't you worry about that. Or before, but while you're playing, there is no drinking on the green. So Peach is waving there to.
Rod Miller has just been castigated.
He has. But this is great because Stevie White last week. I know you're out there, Steve, and you're going to hate it, but yeah, just big fella, big wide fella, took up a lot of the screen.
Just the steer got me. I was frozen in the chair a couple of times.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, there's also Kringle Bowls Club. St. Patrick's Day's pairs are back. Saturday, the 15th of March at 10:30. So get in early. That normally goes pretty quick.
That sells out every year, Pete. Even if people don't play, they buy the shirts and they buy the rags. I was away at a tournament somewhere up in central Victoria. Half the players there were wearing these St. Patrick's Day shirts. They never played, but they ordered the shirts online.
I've seen them everywhere. Peter, I must tell you, I've just had a text there from Cyprus. A very close friend is watching this.
Cyprus.
From Cyprus.
Had a bit. Bottom of the boot. Okay, there you go.
In the eastern end of the Mediterranean.
A little island.
Hello, Sarah Trotter.
We get out and about at halftime, heroes. We just love the internet, streaming to all our partners out
there. And what you can't see, though, you can just catch it up on the back of the bank if everyone sees the back of the screen. The whole top green is full of barefoot bowlers, but at the moment, 3/4 of them are stopped and they just turn around, sitting down, have a drink, watching where barefoot bowls can take you, what you can do if you use this as a sport. Steve Lyon again coming in, trying to get that conversion. Oh, now Dale's going to be wanting to remove that orange bowl. Nope, not done.
It's all over. There's no more.
There is no more
bullets.
bowls.
No more bullets.
Well, I would be thinking you're going to see a big change in length. There we go. Sue putting the mat 5 metres up from where it has previously been. So for those at home, the black lines here at Eliza are 5 metres long from the tee to the top. It runs about 23 metres in between the front of the lines, which gives us an overall length of around about 37 metres.
Nigel Harrison has just walked past the commentary position here, and
With a smile on his face.
he has.
Thank you very much. It was his bowl that got the shot, which is going to make Nigel very happy. So concentration on Sue. They're actually calling for a length call. But I can tell you now, they won't need an umpire. This is a good 22 to 23 metres. But
We play 23 metres, don't we?
21.
21.
23 is international. 21 is the current Australian. But as I said, it's 25 metres between the lines. And as you can see, that jacket's only 1.5 metres up. So a great roll by Sue. But now after playing long, they all the players now have to adjust and drop the length. Well, and that's how you do it. So let's just start with the touches. Thank you very much. The advantage for Sue is, of course, she's rolled the jack.
She knows the weight.
She knows the weight. Exactly right. Even though they're much bigger, a bowl is much bigger than a jack, the weight to deliver them is very, very similar. McComb. Just pulling up short. That's the advantage of having the jack, as Dave said. You know the weight.
Just for 2 seconds. Crikey, there we are. Look, the three musketeers.
Amigos.
Some would say stooges. Some would say amigos. Wise men, perhaps.
Obviously, for those that don't know, 2 have got hair, 1 doesn't.
Actually, mine's a wig, so
It's a rug.
that one.
So, what do you think about that, Sarah?
Unbelievable what we can do now with technology. So just jump in. Cameras everywhere. I think we've got about 6 camera positions at the moment.
So too, and you can see there again. We talked earlier about the advantage of having that jack. Sue has put one right on, and the other one within 0.5 metre, and Shane, unfortunately for Mount Eliza, was nowhere. He's 1 metre short and 3 metres through. So it's now up to the other bowlers who haven't rolled the jack to get close. Dale Verhagen just calling for second shot, not second shot is gold. If you have second, you'll only go down 1. Larry Harrington. As you'll see, his bowl will just come through now. A little overweight. Needs to pull that back.
One of the games that the ladies lost up at Ballarat, we lost because of second shot. We were miles in front.
That's right, mate.
And the other side were coming at us, and we didn't know how to close out a game.
Yep.
Now, they need to go try and get second shot all the time. Just get second shot. Just get second shot.
Yep. I remember that was on the low way. I think 3 ends to go. We were 8 up. And the last end.
We were 3 up.
I think
Gippsland
needed
4.
They needed 4 to win. And no disrespect. I mean, everybody tried so hard, but they were all just looking to sit a bowl out or trail a jack instead of just drawing the second shot. But
thankfully, the girls that we selected learned from that.
And the girls you selected were fantastic. That was the 12 of them together. You were there for the barbecue on the last night. Darrell Stone. I mean, what a fantastic night. Absolutely fantastic.
Right from the very start, we said to them, we handpicked the squad. So you're the girls we want.
Which is, of course, what every woman has been here. Yeah, the girls did not, but they did. They played so well. Yeah, this year was as far as gelling and people feeling like a team, fantastic feeling right
We,
across the
we
board.
had we had so much faith in the girls that we never changed the team.
So
And even one team had a couple of spankings, and we stuck fat with them, and they had a great win on the third day.
Certainly did.
And they walk away now confident, looking forward to next year.
Yep.
just going through the boards now and just updating some scores. I can see rink 10.
It's 10, 10-8.
10-8. So
Rink 9 is 9-3. Rink 8, 9-3. So the Balnarring faithful, who hopefully are watching this, ain't tough, guys. It's very, very early. There's a long way to go. And as we've seen, particularly in this rink, even though Nigel's at the back there a bit, and again getting back, but not a bad bowl back there. If Steve wants to play with weight, he certainly needs bowls to be able to work with. So Nick Wallace, who has now earned himself the nickname of Roy.
Roy,
It's an old family name, apparently, and somebody doing a bit of research found it was an old family name, and the call went up a couple of weeks ago at Pennant, go Roy, and he turned around, he actually smiled and gave a wave and went, you know what, I can live with Roy.
still got some sunlight, so you can see the shadows just getting longer and longer.
They are. We watched this last week, Pete, and we turned the lights on early, so the shadows just quietly disappeared. But as I mentioned last week, and I'll mention this week because the players out there can't hear me because they're playing, and this is not being telecast then. But Mount Eliza Green, as the sun drops, gets wider and wider and wider, and you'll see on the rinks, particularly with the leads, the players who pick up on that early will be the ones that start to nail the jack, because it just takes more grass all the time. So Steve Lyon looking for the conversion shot.
he's played a cracker there.
Yeah,
Very good bowl. Mind you, Dale Verhagen will mess this up.
it's not going to stay.
It's in the stars, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. Dale will. He's got Laurie sitting less than a metre behind.
Away. Yep.
Yes, he's not happy with that. His weight was good, but the line isn't where it needs to be. Dale may need to haul off and just give it a hammer. A dead end's better than a down end, so see what he does. Looking to build a number here.
He likes it.
Yeah, great weight. Cuts out. Yep, that'll be in the count. So Dale again. You'll find Dale generally, if he's 3-4 down, will not drive. He'll just try and cut down. Again, as you can see, the wind just picked up a little, just holding him out. The weight's very good, but that's a good end for Balnarring.
A couple here. 5.
That's a great end.
Game on, Wayne, and you predicted
I
this.
certainly did. I told you Steve was not going to lay down. Yeah.
Wow.
So again, the Battle of the Birds. It was the Seagulls and the Pelicans this week. And I will mention it again for those last week that saying, why has Mount Eliza got 2 home games? This week is our home game. Last week was a Sorrento home game. But at the start of the season when we played Sorrento, it was right in the middle of tourist season, which meant we had to travel down there at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. And
5
come
miles
here
an hour.
and come here. So Sorrento graciously said, we'll swap them round. You come down early.
And that's
So, and
that's
it
good
was,
stuff.
which also meant that Sorrento last week could travel up here when the traffic was going down there. And by the time they finished playing and had a beer, it was 10:30. Whiz home, no traffic. So that's great sportsmanship, and it's great clubmanship. It's fantastic. Yes, this is home game for the Pellies this week. So that started at the very beginning where Sue changed that length, went the minimum, and they put 5 in.
Jeez, I think the fourth musketeer as
The
well.
the fourth, and he's had a haircut and he's trimmed his beard. Justin Breen, good evening. Yeah, we put the call out to Justin last week, and he turned up this week. So where's he parked the cruiser?
Up.
Down the end, Canadian Bay there, walked up.
Bay, yep. Richard Benwell, can you tell Nines if he keeps clapping? Let's go to camera 4 because we've got some. Oh no, we'll go back to camera 5.
And Richie Benwell knows Nigel good enough to know that he will keep clapping and dancing and jumping around. And McKeown coming in, just trying to pull up on the jack, ran through. So from where we're sitting, not through the camera, from where we're sitting, it looks like 1 to Mount Eliza. But with another 12 bowls to come, it's going to make a big difference to where it currently sits.
Some score updates just coming through from the other rinks now. We'll update those.
Oh, what a great bowl. What an absolute
Rod
great
Miller.
bowl. Rod Miller onto the jack, trails it back. Here we go. Super great. So calling Laurie. Come around and try and under that bowl, get past Rod. And just a little bit of flair on that, Pete. But
You'll have John Bolt on the line before you know it, Peter.
yeah, solid flair, Pete. Solid flair. It's only been since Justin Breen's arrived. Do you know that? Yeah, another great bowl. So Rob Miller. Yeah, it makes it easier. Dave's on the far rink, so he's a scorekeeper. So what they tend to do here, Pete, is our big boards are mobile. They've got wheels on them. So we put them at the opposite end. So you're not trying to walk up and down behind the head and count everything up. You can do it from the other end. But then again, you've always got the problem with somebody standing in front of the scoreboard. Nigel coming down, looking to add. Just bumping into Laurie.
So I have the score just roughly, just been there 16, 19 to 31 at the moment after 20.
Yeah, but as you saw then, that was a quick 5 from Balnarring. Every rink does that, and there's nothing in it. So Nick wandering up now. He's been down there with Dale. It's sometimes easier for the thirds to spend the time with the skips. They're not yelling up and down the green to each other, and they have more of an idea what's happening.
There's so many pros and cons to that.
There are.
I mean, when you're early in your career as a back end player, you walk up and you go, oh, I didn't realise I had that much room because you got
That's right, because you've been that. Yeah, you're right. You've been at that
but
end.
then there's the 30 seconds an end, walking up and down and people getting cranky with you.
Well, which can add to it. We got to play here, Peter. When he was playing third for Mike Peters a couple of years back, would stand with Mike all the time. And there we go. Converted. Thank you, Nick. And as playing second, Peter be up there, and I had all the opposition players with me complaining about it. Why is he up there? It's taking time. I said, wait till we get to the end. We'll finish in front of everybody. And they said, well, why is he up there? I said, because he's got a hearing aid. He's deaf. He can't actually hear Michael telling him
And
what
he's
to do.
allowed to.
And he's allowed to, exactly right. Because just for everybody to know, there is actually no time limit on the amount of time you can spend on the mat or anything like that, unless you're purposely holding up play, and it's called as bad sportsmanship. But the time on the mat is your time. It's your head.
We're not going to get the Texas hold-on rule of 30 seconds.
No, we certainly won't.
Televised bowls, as against live stream bowls, televised bowls is bringing in shot clock more and more.
Yeah, absolutely, because they do have a time frame they need to go. They need to keep that game going. I mean, it's a great year. I mean, we're obviously bowls tragics, and we understand it. We're watching the head. We're not watching the excitement of those big bowls, big players, the speed and the lights and everything going. So I don't know. Maybe shot clocks will come in.
Very hard to police.
Well, that's true. I wouldn't want to be the umpire on that one.
No.
No, it's just stepping back into one side.
There's Nick, the policeman.
Yep. Yeah, well, I only have to tell Nick once.
They've been pretty good tonight. And again, just seeing the barefoot bowls roll up for the last time, I think, Wayne.
Yeah, I think 7:30. If the clock is clicked, they'll be.
Just click date. They haven't too much. Look at that.
Oh, maybe they're just staying back for a drink. There you go. Stephen. You could be asking Dale to play something very, very similar.
Is there anything else on, do you think, Wayne?
Oh, no, you've got to sit through. Have sunglasses off. I might be able to tell you he's sitting in the back corner. Well, Nick's got him on the other hand, so he's maybe looking to promote through Laurie's green.
Yep. Geez, not a bad wood. Look at that.
Got it. One down to one down, says Nick. That was always the other thing, that bowl of rods sitting there to catch.
I think the discussion will be maybe you don't need to play that last bowl.
Maybe one's good. Yes.
Oh, Dale's got one, so he's going to have to play.
Oh, yes, I noticed that. Just Dale walking down there with the bowl in his hand. And the old wives' tale, Dave, of when you go to visit the head, you can't carry your bowl because it's termed as delivered. That is an wise tale, isn't it?
No.
It is just not true.
Well, we've been around a while. Some would say too long. And some of the stories, just amazing. And you get at clubs, you get, a well-intentioned old guy who starts telling everyone his version of the rules. And
Yeah, the best thing anyone can do is go to an umpire's course. I did one about 15 years ago, and I'm still an umpire now, and it certainly helps. Not just in your understanding of the game, it doesn't help you with shot selection or anything like that, but certainly some of those things that creep in, like the 30-second rule or this, that.
I think our umpires are trained better than any others in the world. They're just wonderful people, the ITOs,
Yes.
or the technical officers. They give so much of their time,
And it isn't a lot of the time. It's for those that don't know, you're not paid dollars to go and do, and Australian Open, the Vic Open, all those things, all those ITOs, and it takes years to get to that level of expertise.
well, I'm fortunate to know several of the really highly reputed ones, and I don't know how much they fly over to New Zealand for big events. I was in Thailand 3 or 4 months ago at an event, and I turned around and one of the Australian umpires was there looking after. Just amazing.
There you go, in Thailand.
Yep.
So Nova Hagen, last bowl, is going to be looking at doing something to this. Again, coming down on the forehand. It's only one down.
There we go. We're all tied up.
All tied up. As quick as that, 2 ends, bang. So the rink next door, the 12-3 rink, that is the Pierce rink and Danny Wind.
I could easily hum along with this song, Wayne. This is from yoiur. And Peter Susevich, as I know that. He was bopping there.
Actually, I think this is the music that we've got Doug on.
Now, he'll be back somewhere down the line there, and those hips will be moving. Maybe not like they did 40 years
It's going to be creaking. I don't know if they're going to be moving. They're going to be creaking. But there was talk a bit earlier about, we've got big footers. What music are we going to put in? And some of the younger players, we want something from the 2000s and 2010s. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. We don't need to listen to Kanye West while we're bowling. I'm sorry.
No.
Something you can dance to.
Just update the scores just as Sue has her bowl.
So again, as you can see, a much shorter length than was being played by Mount Eliza.
12-4, 10-8.
Somebody on Sarah's must be standing behind Nigel said, move over. Shane McComb coming down. 12-4 next rink, Peter, and 10-8. Yep.
I'm just looking for some ends just to get their
7, 9, and 9.
25.
Yeah, it's lucky. It's a good thing Peter's got fingers and toes. Otherwise, he would never have got there.
Took me a while for that.
For a man from a logistics background, Peter, that's not good.
Yep. The truck fits 24 pallets. Put it 36 on.
A smile for Julie Stackpole over there.
Julie Stackpole, our tournament director from Mount Eliza.
And what a fantastic lady she is.
Absolutely, she is. Everyone loves Julie. Every club should have a Julie. She's fabulous.
We're lucky we've got some great ladies down at Balnarring. That's for sure. A few dodgy guys, the table of knowledge. The table of knowledge is a bit of a worry.
Well,
every club's got one.
More commonly renowned as the 10 places in.
Yes, we've got selectors. We've got a table of selectors.
Paul Marin there watching from Bendigo. G'day, Paul.
G'day, Tex. How are you, mate? Bumped into you the other week. It was good to catch up with you.
He's wanting to know, is that the great man? And I've just got a query, which great man are you talking about?
The one he had dinner with.
I remember we had a table for two.
Yeah, thanks.
And I knew we'd made arrangements to meet because I like Paul. And I thought, well, I won't put him in with our team table.
Table 36.
And I said to the guy, can I get a table for two? He said, sure, table 65. Which I get down, and it's right next to our
right next to table 36.
He's circulating through it. He's at his absolute worst.
Yep, catching up with everybody. It was fantastic to see. It was really good to see Paul.
And he's a good guy.
He's a good fella. His sun goes all right too, let me tell you.
Beautiful. Just make sure we've still got Wayne.
Still going? Yeah, Nige again. Certainly the back end, which is the throws and the skips for Balnarring, they are making the difference. Steve Lyon converting, Nigel just all over it. So understanding that there are actually two Nigels that run a peninsula. We've got a Nigel Henderson and we got a Nigel Harrison. And they're both very, very similar, Peter. They don't look
Jeez.
alike, but by geez, they will get you watch Nigel come up on here shortly. They are both very enthusiastic and very vocal players. So Nicholas trying to come down and turn through that orange. He's very close. Just the wrong side of it.
Finds a
There's
gap on everything.
Dale's head in his hands going, it's just... and again, like last week, Pete, the wind looks like it's dropped right off.
I think it'll settle down. The sun will go down very, very shortly.
Yeah,
The lights are on.
I was just going to check that. Say the lights on. Yes, they are. Thank you. That wasn't me. Somebody else has looked after that. Nigel again. Makes two. Gives himself a clap.
Lets the camera know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gives the finger to the commentary team.
Yeah, and tell.
And stands right.
Stands right away. It's a good thing he's not turning around, mate. He'd be doing a little jig. So, two really, really good bowls. Two good, solid bowls from Nigel. And literally, they are within a foot of the jack between the two of them. One's 2 inches off and the other one's right on its back. So now closely watching as
it's just gone a bit narrow.
Yeah, go on the other side of it. If Nick had kept the same line, he would have pushed through on that. So the things you can't pick up with cameras, of course, is at the other end, the lead for Mount Eliza, Shane McComb, standing there looking very, very despondent because the leads are for all clubs. They take their job so seriously. They want to be holding that shot right up until the very end. But it's a difficult position. Even if you're on, you don't stay on.
Now, Richard Benwell, we are saying your name, but we had a bet who was going to say it. So we'll just wait for Dave to get back. Dave's just getting some much due refreshments at the moment. And we'll have a chat. We'll just start talking. Everything's fine.
So I would hope Richie's at the club streaming for all the other members who's at home in his little seaside shack, just quietly watching on his own. Dale Hagen just slipping by a couple of inches. So he's in three at this stage. They said Dale to be holding for Balnarring, which will take them from being at one stage, I think they were 8-1 down to actually holding the lead, and unless things change.
Good at the moment.
So Nigel. Yeah, there we go. Steve Lyon. It's all right. Nick just walking away now. So Steve Lyon, as you can see there, that is a really tight head of 3 bowls. Plus they've got fourth shot. So they are 4 down.
They're just charging up the cattle prop now. We'll just get that set to the timer. And we'll crank it up to about 14,000 volts, folks. So we'll...
yeah, it is difficult though. I mean, these players generally don't play with the camera behind them, and they tend to follow bowls down and walk from the right of the screen to the left of the screen as the bowl comes in, trying to see where it's going and where it's tracking.
The camera. Again, thanks to our streaming sponsors, Aftercare, Skirmish. I think the great Neil Craig is on his way down this afternoon, or this evening, sorry, so he might be down there. And also Pure Plant Protein. I know Miles is on his way up to Echuca. And, of course, Inside Bowls at Dave's editor-in-chief. So, great magazine. And I believe we'll have to have a chat with him, mate. I think another one's due out shortly.
Yeah, I think we will, because anyone that so that doesn't change anything. That'll be 4 to Balnarring.
Wow.
Yeah, great pickup.
Wow.
Gives them a lead, Dave. From just Pete and I was saying, from something like 8-2 down to
they're thumping
to 9-13 up. It's a great turnaround.
31.
Yeah, so that's only 6 in it. That's from where they were. I think they were 13 adrift at one stage, only early in the game.
Going short again.
It's never going to stay like that. 10-8 across the other rink, 12-4, so it's the Pierce rink that's holding the Pellies in it at the moment. Great comeback by the Lion rink. And as we said earlier, that's pretty much due to Nigel Harrison. He's been bowling very, very well. And maybe you can hear that tomorrow on the replay, Nigel, and you can let me know all about it. So Sue just pulling up, not bad for line, but just a short on the length. So Shane McComb lining up. Needs to get around that bowl of Sue's. Well, doesn't matter if it's around or under. Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there.
Some score updates starting to creep in, and I'm seeing Balnarring appear on the board.
Yeah, certainly are. It's 6 shots, 25 ends. That's one shot an end for Balnarring, which if you're doing one shot, you're only just below the average.
So how are we going on the Duckworth-Lewis? That's what I want to know, Wayne.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to worry about the Duckworth-Lewis
No,
tonight, my friend. It's certainly not going to come in. Yeah, but what a result for the Australian women's with the Duckworth-Lewis. I tell you what, that would have broke some hearts for everyone, didn't
I'll
it?
tell you,
Some stuff going on.
we see a lot of cricket, don't we? But I actually could feel the butterflies last night.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
even though they're almost invincible, our women, but
Yep. It's a good thing you can't. You haven't got our faces on the screen when that's happening, Pete, because there's people here wildly waving their hands.
well, I just walked up to the clubhouse to transact some business. Peter, and I noticed my beautiful daughter's in the crowd.
Ah, there you go.
But she's talking to Bill Johnson.
Oh,
which is a worry.
Billy Johnson. I knew he'd come down here.
Yeah, I might call Billy down. And you and Billy can have a chat because, oh, geez, have you got some stories, boys?
Well, we went to England, Paris, and Singapore in 2004 with Phil Ashman. Do you remember Phil Ashman?
Oh, my goodness me. Yep.
Boy, was
Phil.
That
Yeah.
was wonderful.
Did you take your wives?
Don't be silly.
Yeah, that's what I would have figured. So Stu and Pam never got a look in. For everyone that doesn't know Phil Ashman, he's an ex-Navy, and he knows a bit of time. And
Wow,
Billy,
look at that. He's
Great
on
bowl.
fire here, Balnarring.
that was a great goal from Rob Miller. That was just dynamite. So Dale again, just Laurie, just pop it here, try and get me a second shot. Give us something to work with.
Actually, I've got to say, I think Laurie's having a ripping game.
He is, to be honest.
He's playing really well, very steady.
He's just about, if Dale had left his foot there, that would have been right in his
he
bootlaces.
could- Probably a foot short of where he wanted to be, but certainly in the ballpark.
Because really, the last thing he wanted was to be Jack High to give Nigel something to use to come in off. A wing bowl, even at home, you might think, wow, look at the second shot. It's right on the side. It just gives the opposition players something to use the inside edge. Turn yourself into the Jack.
Just needs to get around.
He's looking all right here, Pete. He's just going to sit right in behind and another counter. Oh, that travelled a little further than I thought. So Dale not asking for anything silly, not even to look to sit the shot at the moment, just wants something on that angle. So if there's a contact with draw weight, the Jack will pop to where you can see Dale has his foot. So Nick's job. is to get his bowl on the 12-dale shoe.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like on rink 3, Mount Eliza out to 14.
The next
Yes,
cross.
correct.
14-8.
We can see that out of the side window of this beautiful air-conditioned,
Well, certainly air conditioned.
yes,
I'm taking
studio
this.
position.
I'm taking this gazebo down to Safety Beach tomorrow. I actually took this evening, and I'll plant it this evening.
Yeah, for those that can't see this, you'll see in the feed. There's a white banner with Mount Eliza barefoot bowls. We're tucked in behind there because we are looking due west, and at this time of the year, that
Wow.
sun is extraordinarily bright.
As Nigel's on the way into the head.
And look at this, this is great track.
Sure.
Just pulled up short. Yep.
6.
So Dale asking to try and promote Laurie's bowl now, if you can get that angle right. It's there to be pushed up. On its way. Goes up. Yes, Nick.
Finds the gap.
Finds the gap. Doesn't have to push it up. Just gets through to the shot bowl. So skips change in. Steve Lyon has the first look. As we said earlier, there's no sort of time limit on it. He's got to look at what he's doing, think about it. And as he walks back to the other end, he can lose sight of where it is. So you might see Nige come in, put a foot there, or wave to where the jack is. Because,
You know, there's a lot to this game. People just, I know people say they think it looks easy as rolling thing. There's a lot to it. I mean, how the players communicate. There's a lot to it. I know.
there is. Even, you're right. It's like chess. You're trying to predict what your opposition is going to play, what their next move is going to be, what you can do to block that move.
Well, we saw last week Steve from Sorrento basically grabbing the group together halfway through the match.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And just having that conversation. Just settle down, folks.
There we go. Steve Lyons coming, just played the shot. That's close up again. It's 5, 6, 7. It's they just need to update the ends, Pete. I think they haven't updated those, but
14-8, 12-7, and yeah, we haven't updated here, but we know the score is 9-13.
that's correct.
Very pleasant night down at Mount Eliza.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a breeze shooting across.
As you see now, the pretty much the direct sunlight has disappeared off the Mount Lights green, and people.
Does he get around?
No, he doesn't. But you'll notice now the bowls will start turning into the head quicker than they were earlier. The green will get wider.
Has he pushed Sue's bowl into? No, it's probably just out.
Steve Lyon, he's been around a long time. He would have woken up to this. He'll make sure he gives it enough grass to get around. And you can't blame Nige for being in the way. He's well clear of the head. It's as you can see there, his grass was very good. Put it right out now.
Lots of discussion.
There is. So Dale looking to try and just draw under that Harrington bowl, get to the jack.
That seems the most logical shot.
Yeah, a lot less traffic out there, Dave. He's only got, and if he hits that bowl, then it's his own. Got the little walk. Took all the weight off it. And that's what I said earlier about the green getting wider. It was only inches there, but that grass 2 ends ago would have been the right grass.
They're just picking away here.
Certainly are.
So it takes it to 29-35. So we definitely have a ball game here at the moment.
If this was a police interview, Peter, we'd be saying Wayne has left.
Tape recorder off at,
Yes,
at 8:14. So again, the short option for Balnarring. We're charging now. Sue on the mat now. So put the pressure right on. It certainly does. Narrow shot coming down. Sun just about to set down here in the Mornington Peninsula. Find it might just get a bit chilly. So looking to middle of the shot, looking to go under. Does nicely. Right, let's go around the ring. We can tell you now at the moment. Hold it, let's go back there. Deer Park have, good way to say, jumped out of the gate, 53-27.
against Altona,
Altona. So,
who would be the second best team in Premier League, probably.
so score currently McKinnon 5, Casey 13, Wilson 6, but LL 11, and Lee. Sorry, mate. We're just playing with them. We're just playing with everyone at the moment.
Wayne's back in the house, Peter.
Yes. No, well, yeah, yes, they were looking for an autograph.
Story, folks. I went to the week before, actually, Mornington Racecourse. Got pulled up 3 times for an autograph.
They thought you were Russell Crowe.
I've done a shaving.
And if people think it's shaking, seriously, put them up side by side. And that is Russell Crowe right there,
There he is.
hiding at Peter Suzovic.
Why did
Oh, literally. Apparently. Last night.
Where'd you park your big boat? So Dale there, foot out, Jack high, just looking for
Backhand.
Nick. Yeah, just looking for Nick to draw a shot. Sue has again let off beautifully, right behind Jack.
Oh, jeez.
And Nick, just
Wow.
I shouldn't have said that. Nick has just cleaned her out beautifully.
That's a great shot.
As they close up the big board, 29, 45. Every 14 out, they're closing up there, 12-7. There's nothing really across. There's 6 shots across 3 ranks, which is one end really.
there be light, Wayne?
Let there be light. Well, as an ex-truck driver, actually as a current truck driver, I was going to use a truckie's hitch. But I thought if Pete's going to be undoing it, then if it's not a granny knot, he's got no chance in the world. Boys,
There's no scouting background there.
No. Well, Girl Guides, Boy Scouts, but anyway. Steve Lyon, just beautiful weight for the shot too. So Nick Wallace just calling Dale on the draw. Just need to ensure that Nick steps aside. As we said earlier, for everyone at home that goes, oh, they're standing in front of it. It is difficult for these guys.
Well, if they're not used to it.
And also at the moment, you've got Steve asking Nigel what bowls are where. So,
if Richard Benwell was here, he would have shouted out at Nigel.
Yeah,
because he does that. To great effect.
I played against Benny. I know what he's like. If there's a shot being played that's a Balnarring shot, you are going to hear about it from Benny. Senior Sergeant. Such good weights.
Tell me, will the green start turning sharply now, or does it need another hour or so?
No. As soon as the sun comes off, direct sun, they will turn.
Watch that with interest.
Again, so ducking, just looking for that 6 inches of grass and.
What's happened on rink 10?
Oh, that can't be right. There's somebody flipped the board wrong. It might be 23-8. Will it? No. Somebody's turned to 2, and somebody's turned to 2, and one. We'll have to keep an eye on that because the big board.
Big board. That's Mount Eliza 3 and stuff.
Yeah, and that can't be right.
They can't have got a 9.
Well, I don't know. Ted Ryan's keeping the score. There's anything is possible.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No, it's a huge jump. No, that I wouldn't worry too much, Peter. We'll just keep an eye on that.
Just keep an eye on it.
But that's a couple of rings across the rink that we're watching at the moment. Balnarring are dominating from where they were. Mentalizers hardly put a score on, and I think it was 8-1 down.
Yes.
And now to be sitting 9-14. That's a great turnaround.
10-14 at the moment. They've just updated their score.
10-14. So that's 1 shot to 13, or 1 shot to 12. So that's
they got a couple of counts, didn't they? They got a 5 and a 4, and they make a difference. They really do.
Yeah. In a game where if you're scoring 2s, you're above the average win score. To pick 9 up in 2 ends is a great score.
Sticking with it, folks.
So Shane McComb just trying to sneak him. As you can see now, it was like it was earlier in the night. The bowls are crossing the head, but there's no breeze now. This is the change. This is the change in the green when the sun comes off it. The pace itself doesn't change very much. It still runs around the 15, but you've just got to throw them out.
Bruni.
So you will hear that. It'll come through our microphone. Sitting next to us, we've got Justin Breen and Phil Haynes, and voices that carry very clearly on a bowling green, and they're only 6 metres or so away from us, so you'll probably hear that come through.
And sometimes they have filters that don't work effectively.
Well, there is that as well.
It's the internet, folks. You're allowed to say whatever you like.
So the next door rink has asked for a minimum roll, and absolutely beautiful. Just a hint for those watching from home: if you see a player standing with a bowls rake in the hand, they are generally the side that has lost that end. One of the lead's jobs is to collect the bowls, and particularly if it's going to be a short end that has been rolled, the rakes make it easy. If it goes in the ditch, you can push 16 bowls backwards and forwards instead of trying to kick them. They're not that popular in New South Wales or Queensland, but it just makes it a lot easier down here.
John Stevens is asking if Nico's playing.
No. Peter Nichols, or Nico as he's known, is playing in our second side. Pete's picked up an arm recently. He had a leg injury. We're still not even sure what happened. The back of his knee popped, and he couldn't bend. Every time he went to try and bend, he couldn't deliver the bowl. So he picked up an arm a couple of months ago. We're trying to convince him to stay with it because he'll only got better. But at the moment, he's not sure which way he's going. But he will be playing tomorrow.
And Richard Benwell is just asking him. We've got to say his name every 15 minutes. That's.
Do you prefer Richard? Do you prefer Benny? Or do you prefer Senior Sergeant? Or pantyhose, but there's a story in there. So serve again. Holding shot on this rink. Nick just asking for a jack high foot. Give him an idea where the length is. For those that have played with Nick over the years, he uses it as a guide. There could be no bowl. He could be bowling the first bowl as a lead, but he just uses that, as you can see here, and uses it very well. Uses it as an indication where jack hole is.
Very nice.
And very effective with it.
Let's the skip know about it.
Yeah, Nick started at this club. You mentioned it earlier, Dave, where he came up against young Dylan Fisher in the club championship. And Nick moved to Mornington Civic because at the time Mount Eliza wasn't being that competitive. We didn't have the drive that we needed. But Nick came back to us a number of years ago now, and he was a great pick up to the club because a lot of his friends, a lot of the players that played at Mornington Civic, the Mike Pearces, the Laurie Harringtons, people like that, saw where Mount Eliza turned and what they were doing because we'd had a big change in our culture. So by Nick coming back, it attracted a number of players to come back from other clubs, and it's been great. It's been a bonus to the club. He was chairman here for a couple of years, not that long back, so he certainly stepped up and did as much volunteering as he could. And as you know, Dave, being at Balnarring, volunteers, the clubs run off them. The selectors are all volunteer positions.
We have a zero tolerance policy about poor behaviour toward volunteers.
Which is as it should be.
I mean, the very fabric of bowls clubs is very fragile. You've got to have volunteers to service the barefoot bowlers and social bowlers and all that sort of stuff.
On top of what they're doing for the club, I mean,
Yes.
the people that clean the greens and put everything out, put everything away, the people that select, the people that are on the bar, that everybody, the board, the CEOs, the secretaries, they all do it on a volunteer basis. And
I get around the industry a little bit, and there are places where you know, giving a volunteer a bill is almost a sport, and that's
wow,
unforgivable.
it wouldn't last long here, I could tell you. I'm a big rap for the volunteers, and as I said, this club runs on it. We've been very lucky this year for various reasons, and none of them luck. It's a lot of work that we've done in the community. We've had a big influx of members this year, and they're all willing. Of the, I won't say the number, but of the number of volunteers, we've already got 8 or 9 of them on the bar. We've got a couple working on the board. We've got a lot of stuff they're working around the greens, so it's extremely important. So anyone that wants to take up bowls, remember that in the back of your head. Yeah, if you're going to take up the sport and love it, as the people do, sometimes it needs just a little bit giving back, and it could be as simple as being the person that blows the grass off the green in the morning, or it could be the person behind the bar,
Yep.
or the person that raises the flag.
Or puts out the table numbers, or
Exactly right. There's a job for
but
everybody.
every one of those tasks is appreciated and important.
Steve Lyon, he won't be happy with that. He's just pushed Nigel's bowl out. Oh, I don't think it makes it still only the one. So Steve at the stage will have last bowl. This is Dale's last bowl, but Steve has a bowl to come down after this. Dale taking the weight off, just trying to turn in behind Nick's bowl, which is pretty much where he wants it. So still some shots on for Steve. They own the back quarter, the back right-hand corner as you are looking at the screen. So any movement of the jack over to that side will make a good number for them. Traffic coming through. Let's run it back to Nigel's back bowl anyway. So there you go. The weight was always good. As Steve just said then, yeah, good result, got lucky.
So pretty sure they just got one there.
Yeah, one there. So they continue to march on. 15-10. So yeah, big turnaround on that rink. And the 23-8 hasn't been changed yet, so I'm going to have to wander across and see what's going on there, because that might be correct, because the big board is blown out to 46-32. So
See the light levels all just nicely adjusting with the lights now, and the shadows are just coming from the light towers now, which is we've got our cameras right, which is fantastic.
yeah, as we saw last week, Pete, the green comes up as the sun goes down. It makes it much easier to see where the bowls are and what they're doing. So Dave's just going to pop out now, because we're still unsure about that 23-8. It was a huge jump up. So either the rink had been wrong all day and they've adjusted it now, or somebody had a big number. So Dave's going to wander off and check on that, because we'd hate to be giving out the wrong information. Again, Sue Allen drawing within 18 inches. Shane McComb trying, but just as you see, you can just be pulling up a little.
I can see Edward down at the Ride Bowls Club sharing the video there. Thanks, Edward. Great to have this technology where we can send it straight to the club's Facebook page.
How good is that, Pete? How good is the digitalisation of communication? It's just been fantastic.
And just for what we've done, folks, we've uploaded the frame rate. So you should see the bulk, especially if you're on YouTube or Vimeo, folks. Jump on Vimeo, you might get 4K. So we're trying to get that up and going.
And Vimeo's a free download, Pete. It's
Free
not
download?
paper. Yeah, there you go.
Chuck it on your smart TV. Watch it on the big screen.
Yeah. Put it down your phone and just shoot it off. All right. On the rink next door again. Looking for a minimum length. So, as I said earlier, the Mandalizer across the greens, across every rink, we're playing almost maximum length. And when Balnarring have won the match, they tend to bring it right up and cut it back to minimum.
Good shot from Laurie. Just a touch under.
Just a touch on, so just out. For those that don't know, Balnarring have a green at home, which was put in a week before ours, and it runs at a very similar pace. And they've got a grass green, which is just the best to play on. So the speed of the green here won't be bothering Balnarring.
Jeez, they're making some inroads. Coming back on rink 9. Scores 13-11.
Yeah, Dave, just confirming that 23-8 rink across there is correct. They dropped a three bad ends Balnarring, and well, it's not dropped. That was earned by Mount Eliza or drop Balnarring, whichever way you want to put it. But it's not insurmountable. I mean, there is a long way to go in this game, and they just have to stop the back. If they stop dropping shots like that, then they'll get right back into it. It's not a game of one rink, 8 players. This is across 3 rinks. This is 12 players. All the skips will be aware of what's happening on the other rinks. So again, Rod Miller very close to being on the jack there. Nigel looking to convert. Yeah, won't be any disappointment from that. So as you'll notice on the screen, the lights are coming right up now. You'll see the shadows changing over. You'll pick up 4 different shadows as they get to the centre of the green. Thanks, Pete. For those that know, without the hat,
There is
that's how I look.
no shadow here.
Absolutely. There's no sun in the eyes. There's no shadow at all. And looking to be a great long weekend too, I believe.
Correct. Rounding out with some great bowls tomorrow.
Yes, over at the Dome.
The Dome, so it'll be interesting to see the juggernaut in Frankston, Dave, taking on Coringle.
Well, they are. And
that,
I really respect them, but they are far too good for this competition. No,
well,
and I respect them very much.
Well, I did some live streaming during the weekend last weekend, and that was the enormous feedback that I received is they're a very powerful club and will get more powerful, especially the way they're conducting themselves at the moment.
They are, and that's with putting a team into Metro as well. Stan Slowinski, although he's not the coach, just he runs a very
He may not be the coach, but he's the power behind the throne. I'm absolutely certain. They've got some great people. I mean, bowls clubs are about.
Oh, absolutely. Craig, all those guys, they do a great job. But been on the receiving end now, I think, for the last 3 years, midweekend. It's runners up to Frankston, runners up to Frankston, runners up to Frankston, runners up to Frankston.
While we're on here, I'd like to send a cheerio to Les Pym, by the way.
Oh, I heard.
He's had some health issues, and he's a much-loved character in the competition. And of course, he's engaged by the Frankston Bowls Club, and I know everyone wishes him all the best.
Absolutely. We hope he's recovering. I caught up to him in Ballarat.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised what had happened to him because Les is not a big drinker. He's not like he's carrying a lot of weight. He's always played sport. He's been a champion baseballer.
Well, international.
Yeah. So, shout out to Les.
He's one of the good guys.
Nick Wallace. Oh, down to 1 down. So that's Rod Miller sitting right beside the jack there. And the catcher outside. A mixed bag at the back for Dale. There's 3 Metalizer bowls at the back, but there's also Nigel Henderson Nigel
Harrison.
Harrison sitting right there with his orange bowls.
The enigmatic Nigel
The
Harrison.
enigmatic. There's a word that he
It was made for him. It was made for him.
It was made for him.
He's always up.
Yeah.
Always up.
Yep, that's exactly right. He loves life and he loves the game. And certainly never played with him. I played against him many a time, and he does. He just loves the game, loves the challenge, loves the sport.
Altona mounting a bit of a comeback. 37-58 after 56 ends.
Need a little more a comeback. Oh, here we go. Steve Line just drawing straight underneath. Oh. So Dale, he's got to be careful with the trail. He can move that blue and make two, but he's got to be pretty careful where he puts the jack. But,
he's used more weight than he has been using tonight.
Well, if he gets this right, he's just... Well, that's not so bad. That's actually a medalised bowl. But he's looking to play onto Nick's bowl. The weight will transfer onto the blue bowl there in front, onto Rod's bowl, and Dale will probably hold two if it comes off. So Nige asking for Steve Lyon to pick that jack up and run around the corner. If he can run around the corner, they'll have 4 or 5 there. Oh, just. So Balnarring holding the 1. Second shot is held by Nick Wallace. Star walks down, and with only 1 bowl in the head, he's not about to hit that with a lot of weight.
Well, he's signalling there.
It's interesting, isn't it? Sometimes you say, well, that's a shot's got to be played, but then you've got to play it.
Oh, that's
and you've
also...
got to consider the risk.
It is. It's exactly right. It's easy to make a call. We all know what the shot should be.
Very close on the middle rink.
It's the Stanaway rink, yeah. Stanaway versus General, Mark Patton, General Patton.
Yeah, I think he's too wide.
What about our great Danny Wine there in those songs? It's starting to get a bit nippy.
It's not going to make a difference to Danny, and you should know better than to mention that, Dave.
Is that skin leather, do you think?
Well, I think it is. He keeps telling me because he's a Colac boy, you know. I play against him in winter and it's 11 degrees and it's raining and it's freezing and I've got hoodies and beanies. And there's Danny in a pair of shorts, no socks, pair of thongs, going, what's wrong with him?
He's one of the most decent people I've ever met, I think, Danny.
Yeah, and you're right.
He's sincere and generous and
Forces Navy,
yes,
Navy boy.
I think so. You know, he's got 2 sons who are professional wrestlers in that.
I have seen some video of
Actually,
that.
I was looking at Channel 31 last night because Halftime Heroes wasn't on at the time. And his 2 lads were wrestling.
Yeah.
And
WWF style.
it's all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Which is, surprising. I mean, Dan's quite a solid. He's not extremely tall, but
They are.
They are, because Danny's wife Sophie, their mum, she's all about 5'2".
She's a cute.
Yeah, she is.
So we're just getting some updates from the manual scoreboard to say 26.
26-8. And 13-11, but there might be 2 more. That'll be 13 all, I think.
That's after 40 ends. So actually it'll be 41 because they've just completed the one here.
But starting to cool a bit now, Pete. You're going to be wishing you had brought along your wind cheater. Although I have offered you a Mount Eliza hoodie.
I'm in Danny's boat.
Ah, beautiful. Sue Allen has just drawn an absolute peach. And playing at Shamacoon, one of the most competitive.
I had the good fortune to have a drink with Shane a few weeks ago.
Only one.
He's a good lad.
If everyone wants to get to know Shane, they just what a shot! Just sat Sue out beautifully. Yeah, he's a good old-fashioned Australian good lad. Loves his family.
Yep.
Loves his sport. He's an excavator driver, a plumber by trade. Works with his brother. So came from a cricketing background. Wasn't quite sure what to do with himself. A mate introduced him to this, and he's just loving it. Absolutely loving it. So if any parents at home and they're not sure what to do with their 14-year-old or their 44-year-old, if you don't want them to play rugby or soccer, or just send them down to your local bowls club. It's a sport for everybody.
I'll be glad they did too, because
They will
bowls
be
is so much for everybody.
They will.
I mean, you don't have to be trying to get the Commonwealth Games. You might just want to have an occasional game and make some new friends, and it just caters for everyone.
It does. And new friends is a big thing, Dave. The social side of it is immense. I watched you at Ballarat the other week against Wimmera. Wherever you want, there was not somebody from somewhere that didn't know and wanted to come up and talk to you and shake your hand or give you a hug. And I can't think of too many other sports
You could do that.
where you get that, where you've obviously played with them as opposition, but also been there as an administrator and such. I think it's such a wonderful game in that regard.
Well, I've always said to people, you can go down to your club, and chances are there'll be someone there you can have a chat with.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't have to play. You might just make yourself a cup of tea and have a natter.
Yep. And all clubs run what they call a social membership where you don't play. You come down on Friday,
Enjoy
you
the
drink,
facilities.
exactly right. You come down when there's a function on. It just means for the $25 or whatever it is that you're part of a club. You're part of the fabric. You're part of everything that's happening. Nigel again. Ooh. No, Nigel. There's no thumbs up and dancing.
He was winding up there.
Certainly was. Sit down, Nigel.
Sean Haywood just jumping on, just saying hi, Wayne and Dave.
Where is Shawnee?
Commentary is okay. Not a bad ring to watch. Regards, Sean.
What does he mean by okay?
Okay. Yeah. Watch out, Big Sean. I'm coming for you.
Sean, we have control of the internet, and we can wipe you off the stream if you want. So
We can wipe him off the face of the earth. We've got power.
You can. And I know your brother, and all of a sudden he's becoming my favourite Haywood.
Next time.
Good to hear from you, Sean. All right. So again, searching with weight. On the other hand, so forehand this time, looking to push that bowl through. Was the call from Steve Lyon?
Bit of weight, just a bit heavy there.
No, it's the weight he's looking for. He said similar weight and look for the bowl, and he's only just. And you watch where it pulls up. As weight-wise, that's weight-wise no more than 4 inches over the previous weight. So good weight control from Nige.
Sorry, let's adjust some scoreboard because we've got some funny figures happening there at the moment, which are incorrect.
So Dale there with his foot out, giving Jack high because, as we can tell you, Nick Wallace will be on the mat, and that's what he needs as a guide. So that is fine. About the only thing you can't do as a skip is if your player wants you to jump up and down and wave your hands to get a bowl. That's one thing you can't do because it would be distracting to the other players. Well, I can tell you a true story. Julie, who walked past earlier, Julie Stackpole, my second wife, her late husband Michael, in his later stages, had lost his vision. He had brain cancer, and he couldn't see the jack. So he would ask his skip to stand by the jack, and his bowl would just roll up on your toes. And he did this for months and months and months. We got into the grand final. It was the last end. We needed 2 shots to win. The jack had been rolled, and his skip at the time, Max, was standing back, chatting to the other skip. Unfortunately, he was standing back 2 metres behind the head. And he looked down, and Michael's bowl rolled up and landed on his feet 2 metres past the jack. So be careful what you ask from your players, because
So still some wiggle room there, 49 to 37.
it's moved out a little. They had back within 6 at one stage, but it's the far rink, the Stanaway rink, it was the winning rink last week, that are holding it at the moment, but it's not going to stay like that. Mark Patton, the general, probably, could be holding 2 or 3 over there at the moment. So, and Mark, there you go, just draws another. And at the moment, Mark Stanaway's got another. I think he'll be weight on that rink. So a lot less waving and telling people to with a bit of it this week, Pete, but not as much as last week. Shane McComb currently sitting right beside the jack. Dale just trying to build ahead, build catches. If Dale can get second shot, even if Steve removes that shot, there's every chance Dale will still have something in the head. So Steve, yeah, he would have liked to have moved Dale's bowl as well, just cut it back to 1. Dale having last bowl. A chance here
this is a pivotal end, I think.
Absolutely. If they can pick up 3 here, it gets them
only 2 behind or 3 behind.
Yeah. But it does put the stoppers on the comeback that Balnarring had. Not to say, not having said that, I mean, there you go, they're still 6 in front, which from where they were is just a fabulous turnaround. And Dale making sure this one counts every inch of the way. Still on the rake. 3. So, as you said, if that's from 10-16 to 13-16 is a big difference. And I could just hear Nick Wallace III as he walked up there, saying to Dale that it's been a green of 2 different lines, because we're now fully under lights. There is absolutely no sun or warmth in the green now. It won't change terribly much from here unless we get a dew, which with the cloud cover coming in, we shouldn't. So it was great. It was great to see some players from other clubs. There was Juzzy Breen from Rosebud, Phil Haynes here from Rosebud West. It's been fantastic.
The boys are just rugging up, putting their mittens on, their socks. So we've got the scoreboard as showing us up to date. 26-8 out on rink 3, 13 all on rink 2, and currently sitting here at 13-16 in favour of Balnarring.
Oh, that's Dave's. How's that sound, Pete? Yeah. As Pete we were just discussing for the interstate viewers, we are in the height of summer in Melbourne. This is nearly the end of January, coming into February, the hottest time of the year, and I've just gone and put a wind shirt on. So for everyone in Adelaide or Western Australia that have had a week of 41, you really need a cool change. Sue Allen coming in. Sneak past. Oh, yeah. Great bowl. So that'll be holding shot right there, possibly even two. So currently, the only change there, Pete, is the middle rink there, the Mandalizer 2 team. There's another 2 on there, so it's gone out to 15-13, which has not gone out. That is just nobody's really in front there. It's anybody's game.
So that takes it to 51, 37 after 44 ends.
So the push going. Yeah, the halfway marker's come and gone. We played at 21 these days. So Dave Allen would know the old days of 16 aside, 25 ends. Every
afternoon tea.
and afternoon tea. I was talking to a chap the other day that when he took up the game playing singles, and I think 25 is a tip toughy.
31.
31 for a game of singles. Because on Sunday at Somerville, being in sectional, you had to play and mark. So you were there all day. I couldn't imagine trying 31. Yep. I think, Pete, maybe we could get all the players next year to carry a little box and we can just give them a 24-volt zap.
So be pushing more than 24, I tell you right now.
You're talking.
Well, there is a thing called an electric, a Bluetooth doorbell. Just has to be slightly rejigged for about 36,000 volts.
Just be careful. If Kim hears about this, my life will be misery.
She did a very good job as captain in the team, by the way.
Yeah, she was. She wasn't reluctant, I would say, Dave, but she was sort of reticent. She's well credentialed bowler, been bowling a long time, and very, very successful.
I was more interested in her, the person.
Yes,
as leadership.
People
listen to her when she speaks. The fact that she is a very good player wasn't the key criteria. It was her leadership.
She, in her professional capacity, she worked in a very male-oriented business, steel, as a woman. So she learnt to be very direct and
she was very direct.
And she was. Pete. Again, Pete and I, she was our customer at one point. Yeah, she knows how to get a message across. Nick Wallace, again, coming through the gap. That's what you get when you put your foot somewhere. So Nige, just wait for the reaction. Nige just standing on the mat, jumping up and down like a Mexican jumping bean. If he gets this shot,
little clip,
he'll get the walk. He's just beautiful weight. And you would have heard the call from Dale and bowls Jack High, which is just an indication to Nick, I don't have to put my foot there. Use the bowl.
Currently, the score in Metro Deer Park 66, Altona 41 after 63 ends. So they're three quarters of the way through.
Deer Park maintaining
around.
Yeah, good bowling. Roy, you heard the call go up. As I said, family name. So many of us know Nick Wallace. So when you see him, you can call him Roy, and he won't be offended. Once again, as you can see, stays on the mat, watches his bowl travel, and then jumps up and down and runs around. You can see his body language, just standing there looking at it while everyone walks past him. Really disappointed in himself.
Split it there.
Yep. Yeah. I like the way he plays, Dave. He rides every bowl. He just loves the sport.
Dave, any prizes on the next edition of Inside Bowls. Can you give us
Well,
any?
we've done a full and comprehensive story about the Israeli situation in the World Indoor Championships over at Potters in London, which got all the way to 10 Downing Street. So there's 4 pages about that. Of course, we coverage of
Controversial.
the World Indoor Championships from Potters, which is the biggest event in the world.
It is. Now, is that the one where the rinks are mobile? They can take them to other places, or is
The rink is actually owned by the WBT, the World Bowls Tour. Potters is the name of a resort.
that's correct? Yeah,
It's all inclusive resort.
Oh, Dale draws within
Wow.
a toucher. Yeah, that's like a cruise ship, but it doesn't sail.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got the New Zealand Championships and
Wow.
lots of stuff.
When's that due out, Dave?
It'll be probably next Thursday.
Beautiful.
Which means we'll get it in my inbox from our secretary on Thursday night.
Yes.
And for those that don't get it, put in, it doesn't cost you anything. It's an easy electronic read. You touch the corner, and the page makes a noise, and it turns, and you turn your phone sideways, and you can turn backwards and forwards. It's almost like a real book. It's
When
fantastic.
you're on one of these,
Exactly. When you're on, that's right. When you're on a PC or a laptop or an iPad.
I always say it's a 2D magazine. You have the height and the width.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I only run a little iPhone 10 or something, and I can read it on my iPhone 10. So it's a great format. A lot different to the old clunky days. It's not your magazine, of course, but what? Do you need a score? 15, 13, 13, 16, 15, 13, 26, 18.
Is he a member?
Yeah, he's a member. He's a interesting character. So currently, after that last ball from Dale, behind 3, which will put them back in touch. Although Dale hasn't got his bowling now, but he has not got last bowl. There's one sitting behind him, which is Steve's. So Dale will be looking to try and get to the back because that is where he's vulnerable. And that is where he's gone. Sitting right on the back of the bowl.
I don't think Steve can continue saving them. That's what is required right now. But he's carried a lot of weight tonight.
Yes.
Right.
You're right. It's a game of 4. It's not a game of 1.
For his team's sake, I hope he can maybe lower the count down here.
Yeah. But as you can see, if I just walked in without knowing whose mat it was, it's full length. So I can tell you Mount Eliza won the last end.
Did I detect the low pressure system just floating near the commentary box there?
Oh. So Stevie Lyon trying to play up through the head. He's got to convert.
Oh.
And he's got something, but it was probably Laurie's bowl. So even though it's changed the head,
$27.12. Yep.
12, so a bit of a pushback from the wind rink.
And they pick up 2. Takes them to 15. It's a bit of a bouncy from Mount Eliza on this rink.
Yeah, so that's the...
So I've got 27, 15 and 15, I believe. Which makes it...
Pierce wind rink is close.
57. And then we go over to...
there you go again, Dave. If anything, on the rink we're watching, Shane has pulled the mat back another 2 metres. So Dale just continuing to keep playing as long as he can. And that's because it makes it very hard to convert. If you're playing weight over that length, it makes it that much more difficult.
Well, I have it as 41 to 57 at the moment.
Looking at the big board, the one that the players keep, by the time they adjust that, yes, that would be where it sits, Pete.
And that's after 48 ends.
You should be keeping the big board. You're more efficient than the players.
My middle name is efficient.
I thought it was Barney, but anyway.
Yep. That's my nickname.
Russell. So, overall score at the moment.
So 40-70, they've just issued the players.
So Schrader 14-9. So Leroy going very well. Anderson 18-10. Matty Bow over Wilson 2013. And Mark Casey 18-8. So that's a big drive coming from our Turner. Thank you very much. So every rink up currently. Deer Park 4 rinks up at the moment.
Correct. They've just issued each bowler with a headlamp.
Oh, have they got a power outage? Oh dear.
So it's a bit grim out there, but that's what it is.
So that's the Altona green, isn't it? Yeah, we could lend them some lights. Now, just remind me, though, speaking of the Premier League, now Deer Park, who's a number of years ago in that windstorm lost their dome.
Yep.
That was all repaired and fixed up.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
No, they are in the throes of getting another one built. I'm not sure. You know, the bowl grapevine is not very accurate. But let's just say, you know, there would be rucking between the club's insurance company and
manufacturer.
But they are building a new one. I think they're building a double this time.
Well, I think that's probably the way to go. If you've got to, then you haven't got a grass green, synthetic green. They're both undercover.
I mean, you and I both started playing bowls on the grass.
Certainly did.
And it is sad. I mean, it's understandable, but it's sad.
Yeah, I agree. And a good grass green. I play a number of tournaments, Bendigo, and their grass greens are just out of this world. Unfortunately, this side of the range, anything south of the Great Dividing Range, does have trouble. Getting consistent good greens. I mean, Balnarring's got an absolute ripper, but
they're very proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to have two grass greens here, and but they were Santa Ana. Even though we're not terribly much further south, we just couldn't get tiff at all. And the problem with Santa Ana, of course, is in the opening months, October, November, it's as slow as a wet week. Brian Hamley playing a bit of conversion. And February, it runs at about 17 seconds. So it's trying to find that mid-ground. We moved to synthetic about 10 years ago, and for us, it was a very good move. So that's it. As the lights go down on the top green, all the barefoot bowlers are off home. It just leaves it to...
But haven't they had a wonderful time?
Oh, they've had a ball. As you saw earlier, they've paid their money to come and play barefoot. They've all been sitting up on that back rail, just watching what's going on down here.
Their summer outfits.
Yeah.
It's just got to be cold or coolish.
Yep. Off to the
Canadian Bay Hotel. Another sponsor.
It's only a long end away.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's about a 70 metres wobble. Yeah, another great sponsor of our club, Canadian Bay Hotel.
This bloke is a real pain in the neck.
And this bloke would be Nick Wallace as he does it again. Yeah, He skipped last week, Dave, because, as I said earlier, Dale wasn't quite sure how his neck would be up to playing the shots and weight and being able to hold his head up, but he's making a very, very handy third. So it's Nigel looking up the middle, looking to be under that front bowl onto the black, and he's not far off, let me tell you. Got it clean. There's Nigel. Congratulates himself on a great bowl.
Tell you a little secret. He had a lesson on driving on Tuesday.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, is he? Yeah, I could see that as he puts his hand up, shows how we did it. So Roy now has to put the bowl back to where it was, because Balnarring currently holding 2. Nick took it back to none, and Nige took him out clean. Yeah, here is the hardest shot in bowls. Do it again.
There he is. I think he should.
Oh, it's just crashed in.
Whoa!
So that's made a definite 2 for Sue.
Mike Pearce on ring 2. He's not going to a Terminator party afterwards, is he?
No.
He's got the Terminator outfit on. Looks a bit like Arnie.
There's his prescription sunglasses, and
Yep.
we can't get them off him.
He's not a tumour.
He's not a tumour. Yeah, he puts them up to sea and puts them down to bowl. Go figure.
See, that's great. They're just walking back up to the Canadian Bay Club Hotel land.
Well, pub end, the Canadian Bay end's the other end.
No, well, he is walking out of
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But Canadian Bay's to your right, Pete.
Well,
the pub is.
Going to the hotel.
Nigel giving himself a high five, was it?
No, he was miming.
So Nick just asking Dale to come in from the left to the right of the screen. Any contact on that bowl of Shane's? As we've lost our feed, Pete.
What's going on?
Back again.
There
I've got some things to work on during the week. We've got a dodgy camera 3, we call it. It's got to do some firmware upgrades to it.
Call the chief, he'll fix. And Dale just coming through the gap and drawing to the jack.
Very nice.
So now Steve will have to wander up and play the same shot that Nigel played and take that bowl and play. So the overall, plenty of ends left now. It's not certainly not our Balnarring's reach. The middle rank, the Pierce rank, being held. 15 all now, I think it is. This rank, again, 15-16. So it's the Stanaway rank at the moment, but a couple of good ends, and that will turn around as well, which we saw on this rink earlier. A 5 and a 4, and all of a sudden you are flying.
There he goes.
Got him. There you go. What a great bowl. Absolutely fantastic.
Now I'm just feeding across all the feeds. Now there's some comments coming in from other channels that we might just have to pick up. They could be controversial, but
they could be. But Dale will play the same shot as Steve. He's got to play down the line and remove that bowl of Steve Lyon. Start to swing now. Oof, that's a bowl wide. Fantastic bowl by Stevie Lyon. Probably made a good 2. Good 2. Steve about to bowl another. A mile of room to draw a third. Push that lead out again.
Stan Zawinski enjoying the coverage on the MPBR page. Also, what David saw in March 2, Bowls Triple 3000 sponsored day.
So, yeah, that's Warworld from Belvedere, Swanky from Frankston,
Ellen Fincher, great commentary.
Alan from Sorrento.
He's a good guy.
Yes, Sorrento through and through.
We'll just crowd around to another couple of pages.
Go on, Nigel. Move it.
As we just prepare the voltage on the cattle prod.
I thought he'd gone.
Who's getting it?
He got it. Yeah, that's it. He's out of the equation. Rightio.
As I've said before, I wish Richard Benwell was still here because he'd be screaming at these people.
He certainly would, and you would hear him. There is no doubt in the world that you would hear him. It's been the way of the game. It's been a game of 2 lengths. It's T to T from Eliza.
There's been some great shots, hasn't
Oh, has there ever? That Steve Alline just repeating what Nigel had done 2 ends earlier.
So 15-18.
Yep.
27-12. I can see a score, but
Cross
no
at the
upgrade.
far one.
And in the middle,
Doesn't matter where Nigel stands, he's in the way. Even though he's well away from the camera, we can't see the score. So that middle rink there is still 15 all, Peter.
15. It is 15 all.
Yeah. Good thing she takes after her mum, Dave.
No doubt.
So I still have 57. And if that score remains, 18, 13, 21, 31, 43.
So very, very close. Shane would probably be half a bowl closer than Sue. And if anything, he wouldn't. He would be looking to get past his own bowl and sneak in behind.
Right, I have it just roughly at 52 ends. Just make sure that comes up on the book there for you all to see at home.
17, 18 and 15.
Right, let's venture around and just see a couple of the groups, just see what's happening. Of course, Halftime's Heroes goes to multiple.
There we go. Yep. Great bowl by Roddy Miller.
Multiple places. Let's see where it all happening. And just see, have a look at the Mornington Peninsula Bowls region page.
Some stuff up there by me, I'm sure.
Nothing there at the moment.
So Laurie Harrington looking to just land on Shane's bowl, give him a roll, get past him. His weight was very good. So Rod Miller looking to do the same bowl as the previous. If he's a little narrow, he's only going to get straight to Sue's bowl and roll her up for second shot anyway.
Thanks, Vince, for chucking us up on the page there from the Rye Bowls Club. Fantastic.
2 great bowls by Rod Miller. So Dale looking to get Laurie to promote Shane's bowl or get to the back bowl. Laurie's body language says to me that is not going where he wants it to. So now Energizer Bunny. Nigel Harrison on the mat. I tell you what, Pete, you just put a camera on this bloke for the whole night to watch him.
We should rig him up with a GoPro.
Unbelievable.
John Westbury saying hi, go Queen, go Mount Eliza.
Thank you, John.
That's on the Mornington Peninsula Bowls region page.
Nothing wrong with that. trying to figure out he's trying to figure out if it's 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. Down is down. It's need to make the difference now. Turn it to 1 up.
Looks like a big match going on the World Bowls Tour with Anderson playing Goulet.
That's a quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal packed there.
So it's an interesting fact, Dave, that a lot of these Northern Hemisphere players like to come down to Australia during our season, not just because of the summer, but because of the pennant. They just love the way we play the game.
It's interesting, Wayne, because they play the carpet indoor infinitely better than the Australians do.
Yep.
But we play the grass infinitely better than they do.
Yes, because their grass runs at about 10 seconds.
It'll be interesting. The Commonwealth Games next year will be indoors on portable greens, like what you said.
Yes, on potters. Yes, they're fast. They are so fast.
My understanding is there will be three rinks, one for singles, one for pairs, and one for triples, and they'll just run from 8 in the morning till midnight, go through the whole program over 2 weeks. And
wow. That'll be long games. Those things, 20 seconds, it's a long game.
I don't know if it'll be match play or 21 up, mate. I don't know how they'll get. But they'll,
Oh, you'll be over it by the time it gets there, you'll know. If anyone knows, you'll know.
Phil Crowder down at Gippsland, jumping on the Monitor Peninsula Bowls page.
Oh, of course, Crowds. Flipper down there. He plays his Saturday games down there for Gippsland. He comes back up this way to play midweek. Lives at Mount Eliza. When he retires from working, we do hope you come back, Flipper.
Well, he's backing up your call, Wayne. The sun goes down at Mount Eliza, slows the meter and goes wider.
Yeah. And Phil would know he's played a lot of games under lights here over the years.
And he's looking forward to the results of the Kringle-Frankston match tomorrow.
All right, so Nigel following skips, getting right to the back. They were if Dale moved that jack back, they were going to be at least a couple down. So Nigel now owns the back, which changes Dale's shot completely.
Right, we go back to our own stream on Halftime Heroes. Some scoreboards being updated.
So Nick Wallace on the mat. Yeah, there won't be a foot from Dale because Dale will probably be asking Nick to play through and change something. So Nick won't need the foot to draw to.
John Stevens just asking what has been some of the positives and negatives from going to 3 rinks instead of 4 over the years?
Well, that's a difficult question because I'm old school and I liked 4 rinks and I liked 25 ends. I liked it to be
I think the most basic one is that you can fit 2 games on 1 green.
Correct. Unless you don't need an 8 rink. You can 7 will do it. I suppose.
I mean, their thought was most clubs will have 12 good players,
Not 16.
not 16.
And
I don't think that proved correct.
No, because the country leagues, like Bendigo, for instance, still play 16s. The Premier League still play 16s. The good, I suppose, that come out of it is when you go to Champions Week where you only play 3 rinks, you're not looking to have to cut 4 people.
Yep.
Certainly for us as a region, means that we've been able to get more divisions. We now go 1 through to 10, where 5, 6 was where we used to top out, which has been great for some of our older players. Instead of having to drop off, they can play that two rink, that 3 rink. New bowlers coming through, of course, they don't know any different. They've only ever learnt 12 and 21. But certainly the positives is given us more divisions, allowed players senior players to play longer and made it easier when you're selecting region sides because you don't have to drop the rink. As the big call goes up, that could be 5. That was the
Went down for a look-see.
there was the McComb bowl that went out. The bowl directly behind.
Do you think Steve was trying for that shot or wanting to turn one of his own bowls in?
I think probably trying to turn that bowl of Sue's or even the orange, but there's 3 bowls he had to turn in of his own or just one bowl to take out. So I think the result would have been on his map.
And gentlemen, we're about to see the biggest bowl of the match.
This decides it, does it,
I don't know
Dave?
about this side, but I think they're holding 5 down there.
Yeah, that would be
And
my
Dale
call.
will not be short. Here we go.
Ooh.
You're right about not short.
Ooh.
There we go.
I don't think it changed a thing. Still looks like a handful. 1, 2, 3. Yes, you're on a
Could be some
on a highway to hiding when you're like that. There's no draw there, Dave. You just have to play through and rattle them up and see what comes out the other end. Battering the McComb bowl and just checking off Steve. 4. Great end for Balnarring.
Jeez. Just
Yeah,
at
pressure
the right
there.
time.
Absolutely. So put that on the big board. It makes a big difference.
So it's into 22. So I've got 22-15, and I'm just looking at the other score behind.
17-15, the next rank over. And I'll get you the far rank in a minute, Pete. I know it's still 27, but so Nails been asked to put drive Jack in the ditch. 27-14 on the far rank, Peter.
27-14. And 15 on the middle. So they're definitely making ground.
Yeah,
so
they've got a bit.
that.
They pulled it back to 6 earlier, then to 5, and great bowl by Brian Hemley. So Shane McComb, competitive animal it is. Really unhappy with that bowl. His weight's beautiful, just not where he wanted to finish it. So Allen, going to add another. Just drop inside that McComb bowl, which is done beautifully. That's all you can ask from your lead.
Well, I just need you guys to double check the scores because I'm.
All right, we'll start in the far rank 10. I've got 27-14.
Yes.
Rink 9, I've got 17-15.
Yes.
And the rink we're following, I've got, they haven't updated. It says 15-18, but we know that's not correct. We know it's 15-22.
22. And do I have the score then correct at, so 27 makes it 34, 44.
57-61.
59. That's what which has Balnarring leading.
Plus 7, minus 2,
Oh,
minus
would
13.
be.
So if you could just add up the top and then the 3,
absolutely.
15 and
15
17.
17, well, so it's 32.
59, Mount Eliza, Balnarring's 37, 51.
51. It's just part of my education process, folks. I just give the people of Balnarring high hopes and just blow them away.
Man, if you've got a decent Excel spreadsheet, it should read it, cross out, up, drop down, give total.
So 17, 19,
Yep.
and 17 ends.
So it's they pulled it back again, Balnarring. They started close as 5 or 6, dropped away, and now they are right back in it.
It's 59-51 on 52 ends.
So it was just one of the spectators checking with Pete.
One very zealous.
Yep, checking with Pete to make sure the score is correct, because the big board's not. I would have suggested maybe he just stream it to his phone.
Now, I'm pretty sure I have the ends right as well at 55. I'll just double check that one too.
17, 19, and I can't see the far rank. So Nigel's just getting the rub off the front bowl.
A mother-in-law's kiss, as they
Is that
call
what
it.
it's called? Yeah, well, I can't say anything. My mother-in-law's probably at home watching this on, so
Yes, of course.
it'll be nice.
Hi, Barb, sitting there in East Brighton. She'll be watching on her phone.
Which, if nothing else, Dave, it means that the weight was correct.
59, 55, 51.
As the call goes up, you'll see Dale's foot come out because Nick's not running through there. He is drawing. So, in the context of the overall game, it's tightened right up. As Nick Wallace just gently sits the orange. Oh, second shot, just down.
Oh, I see Mike Pearce going to the scoreboard and just making some bigger changes there.
22-15 on that rank. There was a
So that's a pickup of 5.
Yeah, that's a big number picked up on the last end. And they're 20 ends, so they'll be playing their last end at the moment. They'll be first to finish. They're well ahead of the other rinks. The other rinks are 17, so Mike's running at least 3 ends ahead. So Nick, again, just asking information because he hadn't been down at Hibberdale to watch. But you need all the information you had to select the shot you're going to play. Very close. And got him.
Oh, wow.
2 great bowls by Nick Wallace.
He's trying to make the Christmas clip there.
And that'll be on high rotation replay at the Wallace household. Couldn't ask for 2 better bowls. Got the orange both, and a result definitely with the second.
We'll just mark that for 9:33 an event.
We'll put a bookmark. Well done, Roy. Again, Steve Lyon, he's only got to play, as we're watching, right to left. Any touch on that jacket's going straight back to Nigel's bowl that was just being pushed through.
Oh, it's nice.
And he's very close. Oh.
He's pushed it to advantage.
As the cheer goes up, it's looks like it may have run to Sue's bowl. Even if not, from 2 down to possibly 1 up, it's a very good bowl by Steve. Nick just asking Dale to come down the backhand and run the green bowl of Sue's out. But as we can see, that 4 down on the far rink, that's to the Stanaway drink. So that 27-14 runs out to in the 30s somewhere.
Jeez, he might have got it.
Got it. Absolutely clean. Great bowl by Darva Hagen.
Gives them 2. Adrian Johnson jumping in there. Great day yesterday at Mount Eliza. Well done to all involved.
No worries, AJ. Did you get the second round of chicken delivered to your table? AJ, great man, great regional guy. He has been playing, I think, some of his bowls out at Narrawarren. He had withdrawn from doing stuff at the MPBR, and yet here he is still doing competitions, doing bowls link, doing heaps of stuff. So shout out to AJ. Dale sitting two. He's got last bowl. So they definitely need this. They need two, if not three, just to stay in touch. Mike Pearce looking now very relaxed. The Terminator sunglasses are off, sitting at the end of the rink. So Dale coming down, looking to get between the gap and get to those bowls of Nicks and add another for three. In with the show goes the call. Unfortunately, just running into traffic.
So two taken out. Tape's coming out.
It is. It could be the Harrington bowl that Dale just pinged on the way in. As Nick throws the arm to the ground and pulls out the tape.
He isn't the speediest player I've ever seen.
Nick? No. It's very, very methodical. So, actually, shout out to someone asked about Nick earlier, and Peter Nichols' wife, wonderful Lois, is a knitter. As you would have seen when she's at the regional, she sits at the end and she knits. She comes and watches bowls and she knits.
She's one of those women who hang around guillotines.
That's the sort of thing that I worry about, particularly when she's talking to me. But we've got a player on the other rink. He's newer to us. He's one of our younger players. He wouldn't, if he's 50, if he's lucky. But Lois knitted him this beautiful white, old-fashioned cable knit cardigan. And you can just see him wandering down.
Is that Josh, is it?
That's Jason.
Jason
Ross. And he loves his cardigan. He absolutely loves it.
I'll tell you what, he's a talent of the future.
Certainly is. From a novice pairs winner to a regional pairs winner in 12 months.
And one of the most interesting people I've ever had a bevy with.
Yes, his backstory is
his
incredible.
Backstory
we can't really discuss it here.
We can't discuss.
It's an incredible backstory, isn't it? Yeah, but even with the backstory, he's been an absolute bonus to the club, and he's got that camaraderie and the mateship and everything else. So he's going nowhere.
So they pick up two there. By mine, that takes it to 66.
Yeah, the Pierce rink. Danny lets one go. There's only one more from Michael, one more from Danny. So that rink is, after this bowl finishes, only two away from finishing. So they're actually travelling pretty well time-wise. We finished last week about 10:15. It's only 20:10 now. And the three Megos, two of them are standing up now, Pete, because now the sun's gone.
Can't see.
Yeah, it's
for different reasons.
So, Shane McComb, I mean, that first bowl,
That's
not
a
bad.
Heartbreaker.
It is. It turns the lights off. It makes it very hard for Sue. She can't see the jack. And the difference with that, if he was 6 inches behind the jack, Sue could draw to his bowl and take the shot. But to get around a bowl when you can't see the jack, it's the hardest shot in the book. As you can see there, Pete, that's a really good angle of it. So no one standing on the mat can see that jack. And it's a toucher as well, so if it gets hit, it goes with the jack. It still stays live.
Shake of hands on ring 2.
Yep, that would be the Pierce versus General Patton.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Pierce versus
So Danny Wind. And Mike Pierce gets the chocolates on that one. Exactly.
So 27-15 by all accounts on that rink.
And even though everyone here is great nuts here, you can see that, Dave, that Danny's so disappointed, feeling at this stage that it might be his rink that lets them in. But it's not true. His cardigan's beautiful. That's Lois Nichols. That's Lois Nichols' work. That was Justin Breen commenting on the cable knit cardigan that we mentioned earlier. So Pelican's still holding one here. That was a really good effort by Rod. It's a great second shot. So the call from Steve Lyon, he just wants Rod to add 6 inches and get past his own bowl. As I said, it's a very, very hard shot from the mat because you can't see where the jack is. You trust your weight, trust your skip. His weight was spot on too. So the Pierce rink finished at 27-15.
And by the looks, maybe only one end left after. Actually, this could be the last end here.
We're playing. I think 20 here. Oh, yes, Stanaway rink is always the last rink to finish, and it's not I'm not disrespecting anybody, but if you watch Mark play, which they would have seen last week, he's just so steady and methodical and thoughtful about what he's doing. He never gets on and just blasts away at anything.
Coming into play now.
This is interesting.
Jeez, got
Nigel.
the legs. Got the legs. Oh.
Well, what you would give for another 4 inches of weight. It's halfway over. Oh no, it's Mark coming to. Okay, I was just a little confused. I could see tickle on the mat, Dave, and I thought, no, you can't change halfway through. But it was Nick was lucky to hit that bowl. So you can hear this call from Stevie Lyon again, and Nigel's weight's been fantastic all night. So if he gets the line on this, he's going to sit. There's an H in that. Sit shanked all the way through, but it looks like the weight's not quite there. So at this stage, Mount Eliza are just trying to tick the ends off, the nose in front, which is where they want to be.
So this is N number 20 on this, and N number 18 over there.
18 on the Stanaway rink, yeah.
We think.
But that rink is doing pretty well. So if your money's on Balnarring, if you can trade it in now for 3 bits, it's probably a good call. It's not impossible, but with only 5 ends left. It's
You know,
a big
you're a
ask.
wonderful man, Wayne, but it's impossible.
20 shots, 2 ends.
Yeah, I've been
But
told that before, Dave.
look, it's been a really good arm wrestle. You know, there's been stages where Balnarring got jumped early and then they fought back. And
Oh, absolutely. And I'm happy we've been streaming this rink because this is where the battle has been. From 6 or 7 down to when they got their nose in front, and they've just kept their nose in front.
those other two games, unfortunately, um, the Stanaway game was a sort of when they dropped the 5 and 2 4s
Yeah.
and 3 6, you know, it sort of blew it out of the water.
It did.
So Eliza pick up 1, so they're still going on that rink.
That's right. Coombe Bowl's still there. But you can only play the best you can play on your rink. You can't control an entire game. You can do the best you
And
can.
it looks like Mike might have had a couple of pickups in the last couple of ends too. There was only 1 or 2 in it there for a long
for the
time.
whole game.
It was 15 all.
Yeah. But a very, very hard rink, a very hard player to keep down, Mike Pearce. His last bowl is usually telling.
For years, I have thought there aren't too many in front of him here and in this part of the woods.
No. Well, Mike's. I'll give him a little bit of leeway. He's probably still in his 60s, and since he picked that arm up 18 months ago, he's bowling as well as he ever has. It's fantastic to watch.
Well, they picked up 4 there, folks.
They picked up 4 on the far
4,
ring.
yep.
Oh, well, that's a killer. And as the rink we watched last week, there's Paul Jack putting one a couple of feet in front. Stevie Lyon looking for the jack.
Very, very close.
Very good player too, Steve Lyon. And it's
Very steady.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a lovely fella. Oh, and he plays a mean guitar and he can
Can
sing well
sing.
too.
And his partner, Andre, she's a beautiful singer.
Yeah. Had to be for a couple of functions for it. Everyone's always like, when do we get back?
Of course, everyone wants them on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Which is the 2 biggest days of the week. If you're not practicing, you're playing. Dale is actually having a big run. They must be down.
Look.
Oh, my goodness me. He has planted everything out of the head with a stunner run and made 3. Where are you, Doc Adams? That's what it takes, as you know. You're at Ballarat when Doc played that shot. What a blinder of a shot. So the problem we've got now for Steve is he's 3 down and the back bowl on the bank that's not in the ditch is a Mount Eliza bowl. So Dale trying to finish big. So on the far rink, Stanaway rink, Sophie Wynne has drawn 2. And Ted Ryan, another recent to arm, who had a fantastic game last week. Just playing to draw shot. So what do you say, Dave? What does Steve play?
I'm wondering if this bowl at 6 o'clock from where we're standing is Rod Miller's bowl.
Oh, yeah, which would still be out of the count.
It'd be 3 down.
But could be planted through, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Steve Lyon is lining up on that shot to plant that bowl through. It would get the run onto the jack. Playing the weight to do it. Oh, just got some traffic running in. So that's Wallace bowl that has turned through the back. 4 shots is the call, which makes it, yeah. Sometimes you can get lucky. Is that what you said? So, yeah, Dale just playing. He was already holding, but he played through to make a number, and it's better than he could have expected. So,
No, look.
21-22 coming into the last end.
Yep.
as the mat gets pulled back to the tee and the jack goes to the far end.
These two leads have had an enthralling battle, actually.
It's been very good. Pete and I watched it last week. The Paul Jack and sorry, just fascinating when you can see it on live screen as we've got here, because the camera focuses on the jack. You can see what a the front end plays. Because generally I'm a back end player, which is looking to add or convert to do something, but it is like there is nowhere to hide in this game. If you're not doing this, then everyone knows you're not, which is where I like Sue, who's a regional lead, steady, always looks relaxed, which is surprising considering she's married to you, Dave.
Actually, couldn't have said that better myself.
And again, there you go. Coming down, beautiful wide, just away you go.
Pretty enthralling. It's only 1 point, one shot in it.
Yeah, on this rink, we've certainly got the rink to watch. And that's a bit above from Shane, even though you can see that he's gone long. You see he's gone behind. His first bowl is not going to come to anything. Seems to have lost our focus there. Tap, tap. Oh, this is not what they're looking for. That's all right. That's good. That's 2 to suit. Yep. Dale calling Laurie, as you can see, to the 3 o'clock on the screen, which is a Sue shot. All Dale has asked Laurie to do is to beat that bowl on the wing. Gives him an idea where Jack High is. If his weight's right.
Big thank you to all the people who like the page today. Frankie, Michael Giddings, Gary Ingley, Mark Parsons, Paul Rogers, Rob Padden, Renato, Kevin Deere, Paul Simmons, Gwen Scott, Kerry, and Brendan Elliott.
Oh, there's many there I don't know. So thank you to all of you. As I keep saying, if we work this out with the region in the off season, then any club with lights, if we can get behind halftime heroes, maybe we can do this every Saturday night. Make it a thing. I'm sure Pete's wife would love that. Actually, she would. He's out of the house for another night. That'll do me.
Well, I mentioned to her on the door on the way out at 4:30. I'm just putting the bins out. I'll be back shortly.
It was 4:30 this morning. And again, this I'll just pump your tyres up a little bit, Pete. Well done, Laurie Harrington. None of this is possible without the input from Peter Sasovich.
Oh, he's a unique man. We're very proud of him down this part of the world.
He started this live streaming a long time ago. And I'll be honest, I know Bowls Victoria are probably listening, but it was before Bowls Victoria were live streaming. They had a look at what was going on down here and went, you know what? We need to get in. Every region, every club needs to get into this in some way, shape or form. And certainly Bowls has run with it with the Premier League. They're doing a fantastic job. But yeah, it all started on our little region down here on the peninsula. So thank you, Peter Sasovich.
Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. All good for sport. If you want to do sport on the peninsula, just give us a ring.
Football, cricket, lawn bowls.
Just a reminder that Halftime Heroes podcast, looking at late Feb, folks. The crew are getting back together.
Is that the Chief?
The Chief, Spook, Adam, Short Pass.
So you're looking at what's happening around the clubs. Who's been
clubs? Just anything with rumour or innuendo or anything that just causes trouble and angst.
Well, there you go. You're the man for the job, Pete. if you're looking for rumours and things and angst around the Miles clubs, we got a bloke here who shall remain nameless, but he does have a nickname for those that know him as Whispers. And if you need to know anything that's going on, he is the man to speak to. And if he doesn't know, he'll make it up.
Our contacts are spread far and deep, folks.
Yeah, I've actually blocked your phone number, Peter.
We've planted 6 insiders at the Mount Eliza Football Club.
Oh, the Redlegs,
the Red
really?
Legs. We feel there's something just about to happen there. They've won 3 grand finals on one day. We reckon they're going to win 4 with the female team that starts this year.
Gee. They want us to become the Redlegs, I believe. Oh, good luck with that. But yes, that was an extraordinary year for them, wasn't it, Pete? The Mad Monday went for a week. I drive past the football ground every day to go to work, and there were 3 cars that did not move for 7 days.
Unbelievable.
Nigel. And the same with every village and town throughout the peninsula. They've all got a football club, or a bowling club, or a netball
blessed
club.
From Frankston down, we're pretty blessed with township clubs.
Yeah.
We go up to Chelsea and Bond Beach and Frankston Wise. There's a bit of a battle in Frankston. There's about 6 or 7 teams there. They're Coringal, the Pines, YCW, Langwarren. They're all jostling for players,
and they're strong clubs too.
Yeah. I think one of our first stories of the year come February will be the player payment cap, and what club isn't under the cap. That will be the question.
So yeah, if it's the Pines or the Stone Cats or the Bombers, you think everyone's going to be above it?
Everyone, we're placing a bet with the Darwin bookie that everyone will be above it.
So as you can see, you'll see around the feed, but even though a rink is finished, that everybody is still standing on the bank, standing on the edges. They are all watching all his teammates to see how it goes.
So this potentially could come down to the last ball. My understanding is it's drawn at the moment.
Yeah, well, for Dale, it's extremely important because if you're going to win, then you don't want to be the rink that doesn't. So for
knock on.
So yeah, currently it's
2 now.
It's a draw. Close was the call. Close.
Then
Steve Lionel
Roy said
about this. So Roy said close for 2. Oh, I can still see the jack, Pete. You can wave as much as you like tonight.
It's game over, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Is it rink over? All right, there we're going for a measure.
It'll be interesting here if they pick up 1 or 2 here.
We've done very well, Peter. We started a little later this week because Balnarring workers and things, everyone got here in time, which is great. But we're finishing around about the same time. So, we are on this rink. Mark Stanaway is still going. I think we're pretty close.
Well, I have to tell you guys, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. It really has.
It has been great. It has been great, Dave, and it would be wonderful to get the big fella here beside us to be able to do this most weeks.
Well, we're at
see what we can do.
Yeah,
Coringal tomorrow.
I can tell you right now, I'm booked in for the men's single club final at Coringal Friday.
Okay.
Friday night. So we'll see what occurs there. I'm sure I'll get details during the week, and we'll publish those and put them up on the page. So we'll get details, and there might be a little piece of rope just hanging from the ceiling there, just going backwards and forwards with a little device.
Will you have a target-looking thing you can put over the top of the jack and
with measurements?
I haven't seen that since the Jag High days. Dave, remember that? Yeah.
So we'll be able to tell you from the calculation. We'll have to measure it out first, but
yep.
we'll be able to look at what's happening and tell you lots of things happening. Folks, we're just, I think we're coming down to a final end also on rink.
On the far rink, yep. So we'll talk about the region stuff, Pete. The region singles is currently running. They had their sectionals last week, which gave us 15 section winners. That'll continue on Sundays. Next month in February, we've got the Region Fours coming up, which will be a PM game, like a twilight game on Wednesdays.
Ooh.
So
Rightio.
hoping
Good.
we've been very lucky and very lucky. We've been pushing very hard at Mount Eliza to be able to get those games to come here because we have two greens with lights and then we have a great catering facility. If it's a big first week and you need two greens, we try and get them here. But we'll wait and see. I'll be in touch. So any PM games, I can give you a call, no doubt. So you can come to them and then get up at stupid o'clock in the morning and go to work. Yeah.
Correct. Wants to do it works. So we're just viewing there the Ring 3 match.
Ah, that's good angle. So we ended up here 23-22, Pete. So the Verhagen rink leading early.
Get up. They get up. So that's,
Get up by one. That's 2 points. That's an extra 2 points that goes onto the score.
which could be unfortunate for Balnarring.
Yes, exactly right. It could be unfortunate, but certainly very important for Mount Eliza. 16 instead of 14 when it comes down the next couple of weeks.
And if we just go back to that ladder, folks, just while we're watching that game, that really makes it interesting now.
It certainly does. Played 11-1-7. We've now played 11-1-8. So if Frankston get up tomorrow at Karingal,
Jeez, it could be. And then,
it could be a bit of a rattle happening there.
So let's go back to that scoreboard and just make sure it's up to date. So 23, 27, 27 I've got.
23, 27, 32 is the top. Yep.
Then the bottom I've got 22.
Yep. 15.
15.
8. 18 or 16. Must be
In the age of great cameras, we'll just pan around, and that looks like a 16 to me on the screen there.
okay. Oh, we're waiting for your commentary, Jazzy.
So that'll take the score there to 53. So just the rink now with Stanaway. And I believe this could be the last end. Yes, I do see a 20 up there. So only 3 bowls left on the end, which will make Mount Eliza winning all 3 rinks. And I believe Rosebud have Hastings tomorrow at Rosebud. At home after a good win last week against that Coringle. So good to see Rosebud up and about. So that match tomorrow potentially could finalise the 4, depending on what Sorrento does. Yep. So Mark with his second last bowl. I'll be right. We'll all be done. So what I have it as 82.51. Just gives the leg a bit of a lift. Shake of the hands there as well. We look to conclude. Let's see what the bowl does. Shake of the hands there to conclude. Let's put the scoreboard up on the screen again just to get clarification. There it is there. So Balnarring currently sitting on 71 for, yep, so Sorrento win tomorrow. That probably adds a bit more pressure. Well, folks, that's it for another great night of bowls here on the Mornington Peninsula. It's been great having you all on board. Really enjoyed it. Special thanks to Dave Allen and Wayne Hogan. Been fantastic having them on. Give great insight into sport on the Mornington Peninsula, and it's been a real fantastic effort. Folks, we're going to sign off. It's been terrific. We'll catch you next week. Until then, actually, we'll catch you tomorrow. Kringle versus top of the leader, Frankston. We'll catch you then.